Hey, welcome in. I'm Whip. Yo, 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 we're here. We're live. We're hot. And I'm not sure what Dr. Anthony's doing, but he might be losing his mind.
Already did.
7.2 in Ecuador.
Really?
Scotty Nona. Hey, Seville Steve. Depth Charge was here earlier.
That's it.
That's it. There he is. He's back already. He's just been lurking.
Where's Noogie?
The Noogie is gone. He's probably making himself a tequila sunrise.
Oh, yeah.
Minus the tequila.
Minus just a sunrise.
So just so everybody knows, Doc and I will probably be here for a couple hours, but the Whip is starting a 24-hour stream right now.
That's right. That's right. See how long he can last drinking his V juice and his steam in 24 hours.
There's 6 bottles of vodka lined up right underneath him to the right there. Good to go. 24 straight.
That's what I call V juice for him.
Yes.
In case, he doesn't want people to know what he's doing.
I just want the crowd to know that the stream will get more and more entertaining as the hours go by. More difficult to comprehend, but more entertaining.
That's right. Exactly. Yep.
We're going to start our own Ohio Fish Rescue Drunken Whip episode here.
Do you have some toilet paper rolls nearby?
So he doesn't have to leave.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, Rich trying to drink out of a toilet paper roll because we were so drunk one time on a live stream.
Where the hell did Ed go?
I don't know.
Of course, everyone clipped it, so the next day it was everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll text him. Ed.
There
he is.
He was catching the endler.
Endlers. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Oh, I was feeding all my fish.
Okay.
Since you said we had like 5 minutes, I was like, well, that gives me enough time to feed the fish.
You're 3 minutes late now, though.
That was 15 minutes ago, though, Ed.
Yeah.
Well, I decided to give them frozen.
Today's Saturday, right? I'm losing track of my days. Yeah.
Yep. Today's Saturday.
No feeding today.
I did some water changes today, so
I'm
doing one right now as we talk.
In 57 minutes, I'll be 1 year closer to Doc Anthony's age. So.
Oh, tomorrow's your birthday? Tomorrow's your birthday?
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
That's awesome.
Not nowadays. The older you get, it just sucks. Getting older and older. It's like...
Hey, it beats the alternative.
That's true.
Does. Yep. So what fish news you got for us there, Whipper?
I don't really have a whole lot. We were going to just talk about stuff and things, what Jeremy's going on over there at the AquariumDomain. For anybody who doesn't know, AquariumDomain, Jeremy, I'm pointing the wrong way, has a channel. He's kind of a big hitter. What are you at now? Like 130, 40, 50,000 people over there?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, right. I know you're right in that ballpark. So, and he's a do-it-yourselfer, build-your-own tank. As you can see behind him there, that is a 4,500 gallon, 30-foot long tank.
How thick's the glass on that there, Jeremy?
In one weekend. That's probably the craziest part.
No, but how thick is the glass on the tank behind you?
In 1 weekend.
1 weekend and 6 months.
Yeah. Did you hear the question? How thick is the glass that you bought?
1/2 inch tempered.
Okay.
Only
I
a half
didn't hear
inch.
there was a glitch.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, here's the deal. This is something that I get all the time. Tempered glass, 4 to 6 times stronger than plate or float glass, right? For this type of build, it's called a floating glass. So it's on a silicone gasket, doesn't actually touch anything, nothing can ever pinch it. So it's the way to go. You would have to go 1.25 inches or so, 1.5 inches of plate glass to reach this strength, probably 1.5 inches, which is going to weigh a lot. It's just not desirable, right? But you don't use these glass panels for the typical glass tank build because all the pressure is on the edge of the bottom in the corner, and the weakness of these panels is on the edge. You can just pound this thing. I've bumped into it with a hammer. From the front, it's very, very strong. It's very, very strong against deflection from water pressure, but the edge is not strong. So if the way they build those tanks, they have the rim at the bottom, all the pressure is right on the weakest part of the glass for this type of glass. So that's why they only use it for the bottom of aquariums, because it's laying flat, which is the strong side, and all the stuff's on top of it. So if they change the design of those tanks, you could, use this, and they'd be much stronger with thinner and all that. But based on their design, that's why. Because a lot of people think you shouldn't use tempered for glass tanks or aquarium, but it's on how you use it. It's the design that matters. So you can actually do an enormous amount of water volume, which we'll see in the future, because I will use these same exact panels, just longer, on a 12,000 gallon, and it'll work just fine, because it'll easily handle the water pressure. So, and people are going to see the size of that, and they're going to hear 1/2 inch, and they're going to think that's crazy, but it is not. In fact, I believe it's around 28,000 pounds per square inch of deflection it can withstand on the front of the glass. So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and also too, what I do is, so the tank is 4 feet deep, but the glass doesn't go all the way to the bottom. It starts 1 foot up off the sand, because I have very large fish. They don't really. You basically can see. There's about maybe 4 inches you can't see easily, but they don't really ever go there, so you miss nothing. It allows you to save a lot of
the
money.
catfish, right? Maybe.
Even then, they just don't do that. It allows you to save a lot of money, because you buy the same panel at 4 feet tall. You have to buy it in bulk to get the savings. But let's say if you buy at least 3 panels at a time, you can get them down around say $750 a panel. You go to 4 feet, and you go 1 more foot higher on that panel, and you just made it a $1,500 piece panel. Same length. You 96 inches long, 8 feet long. So
that extra
kind of stuff, you learn all the tricks to save yourself some money. Otherwise, it's not affordable.
Right.
At all.
All right, talk amongst yourselves a little. I got to make sure I don't overflow this thing.
Again? Both you and Ed. You got ants in your pants.
Did you see one jumped out of my hand and onto the floor just now?
Nope.
No, they're so small we can't see them there, Ed.
There was like a big scoop, and I wanted the 2 most pink ones I could get in the scoops. And the second time I couldn't get just one in the net because I couldn't find my shrimp net. So I took 3 and then dumped them all in my hand, put the 2 back, and then held the 1. And I was taking it up to the hole, and I was doing this to drop it right to the water, and it jumped straight up out of my hand and onto the floor. I picked him up off the carpet, and he had a big old hair, like a cat fur, stuck to him when I dropped him in the tank, but it came off. But the one's already chasing the girls. Didn't take him long.
Hey, Ed, what's that thing next to you? It looks kind of like a robot or something.
That is a tank I made years ago, and I never filled it, but it's a diver bell
Oh, okay.
tank. It's like a 4-gallon diver bell.
It almost seems like something Pec Tech would do, you know? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I bet Sean would like it. He's one of my buddies. He lives real close to me. I don't know if he's ever been down here though. I've been to his place several times. He came over one time. I was actually being interviewed for a magazine, and he came over that time. But we played games instead of anything else. You know, looking at fish and stuff. He loves games, so. Yep. But yeah, gosh. Sorry that I was doing all that. What time do you feed your fish normally, Jeremy?
In the evening, like probably more like between 9 and 10 p.m. I have all the lights scaled to, they don't even come on until like 4 or 5 p.m.
That's how mine is.
Yeah, because I mean, we don't work during the day and stuff like that, and family stuff during the day. And uh, my wife tends to go to bed around 9ish, and that frees me up to do whatever I want until, you know.
In the morning?
No, at night.
Oh.
She gets up freakishly early, you know. And
That is terrible.
like, you know, when she wakes up, I'm just like, "What's going on?" I look at the thing. I'm like, 6:30. What are you doing? You know, it's just like, leave me alone. I'm sleeping.
Dr. Anthony, when do you feed your fish?
Usually around 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Now, I will do double feedings if I've got a lot of fry in a tank, just to keep, because most of my, I do community breeding with my guppies. I don't do a lot of line breeding and stuff like that to separate them. So what I get is what I get. But I'll try to overfeed them somewhat when there's a lot of babies in there.
Actually, that's a good point, Ed. I have a 5 freshwater grow out tanks and 1 saltwater grow out tank, and those lights
wow.
come on at noon because usually when I buy fish, they come in small, you know, and so they get fed 3 times a day or so. So I do them at noon so I can come down during lunch, feed them, you know, that kind of stuff. So
I have a 75-gallon tank that I had the timer working right for a long time, but every time there's a blackout, it like changes it, and now it's turning on like at 4 in the morning,
that's
and it
like
drives me nuts.
These freaking higers I put on this thing, they drive me, not even power outage, just I have them set so they have a red light or white light. And then all of a sudden, some of them will just switch to blue or orange instead of red. And then the white will go, it'll set itself, it has like a button you can hit for the intensity. And I'll just look at it and I'll be like, why does it look so dim? And I'll hit the button and it'll go all the way up to high intensity. It like reverts back to lowest intensity out of nowhere for no reason. And I can't put it on a timer. If I put it on my timer, they just don't work. It's craziness.
Same
They
here.
have their own built-in timer, so I'm using their own built-in, and it just constantly, they're always out of sorts, right? They'll roll along for a month or two, and then just one of them will, you know, all of a sudden it'll be blue or something, you know, just like.
And I turned off the blue on mine too, and it's like 20 minutes of blue before it kicks on.
Yeah, it's just,
and it's like, oh.
I'm kind of bummed. I don't really know what the deal was with Corey's lights, why he stopped making them, but like I liked the idea of like someone putting out a high intensity simple light because I have a crap load of tanks and lights and stuff. I use my own timers, and I'll have like, you know, 20 lights on one timer. I don't want them all having individual timers. That's annoying. And a lot of these new lights where they're trying to do all the fancy stuff just gets in my way. They make my life difficult, you know. It's like,
Well,
because I
might have an answer for you on that when I get back.
I got windows in the room, right? I got ambient light. I don't need to ramp up, ramp down. I've already got that from nature. You know, it's like it's not going to shock my fish when the lights go on. You know, so
well, I just shocked mine in my fish room. I have aquanites, and I'm been going away from those and just using Menards because everything I have is pretty much 20 longs. You know, they're real shallow. And aquanites work perfect for shallow tanks. I mean, my plants go crazy with them, but the Menards ones do just as good.
Yeah, like
And
the lights I use up top on the ceiling for the plants, those are just LED floodlights, 6,000 Kelvin. But for the actual lights on the tank for the illuminating the fish around my whole basement, I use night crew. Night crews are the best because they don't have any features. They're perfect. They just turn on or they turn off. That's what I want, you know. And they're
I think,
and here's the thing is, if you buy like 10 of them, right, one of them is guaranteed to die right off the bat, and one of them is going to die 6 months later, but the other 8 will last forever. You know, it's like, so you just, to me, they're so cheap. It's, you just expect it. You know, you just buy a couple extra, and you'll end up with what you need. You know, and it's still way cheaper. You know?
Oh, so much. Well, LRB is in his fish house in Indianapolis. He would get the aquanites. That's why I was getting those. But he was able to get the 8-foot ones or 9-foot ones that just went on forever, and that's what I really wanted. I was finally able. I do have 2 6-foot ones I need to put in eventually. They're just sitting in a box.
Some of the cheap lights, they get freakishly hot. They're like fire hazards. But the night crew is actually, the entire top is thick aluminum, and they stay cool to the touch while they're running. So that's why I really doubt it on the night crews, because they're cheap. But the thing is, they're bulky and heavier than those other like aquanites and stuff. But that's a good thing because it's just a big chunk of aluminum on there. It's perfect, you know.
Yeah, well, the aquanites don't have aluminum, but I don't think they get hot because I lay them right across, like I lay them on my plastic tops. My
well, the aluminum will be on the top. Yeah, the heat from the LED is going to come from the bottom part of the LED. Is going to go out the top.
Okay.
So the top should be aluminum, the bottom just plastic, right, or whatever, you know.
I guess I could run in there and feel it right now. Feel one.
Yeah, I mean, because like, trust me, I've had some aquanites that were like you burn yourself on there.
I'm gonna go do it.
Test it, yeah. I've had like the big plant leaves will come down on it. If there was an aquanite or something, it would just melt. Yep. Would just burn the plant leaf. It would just be burned in half, you know. But they're laying all over night crews right now, and nothing, no problem. You know? And it's been that way for probably what, a year and a half, that tank maybe now, something like that.
Whip, you pass out on us?
Nope. So the way I understand it, and this could be 100% wrong, but the way I thought I heard Ben Ochart explain it was he had asked Corey why the lights had quit being, they stopped making them. And it had something to do with the company that they were going through didn't have, like the money wasn't there for them. They're a company that likes to do high-end lights, big lights, and there just wasn't any money in the.
Actually, you're right. I actually heard Corey say that on a live stream recently.
Yeah, it was just with Ed, or with Ed, was it with Ben?
No, it was him and Zenzo on a live stream.
Oh, okay.
And he basically said that the company wanted to do higher end lights for plant growth, like what do you call it? Nurseries and things like that, because it was like basically the same amount of effort would net them a lot more money. So
right, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. I mean that's his problem. He has obviously nowadays with tariffs and stuff, he's got a lot of problems with outsourcing. He doesn't have any control over those manufacturers at all, you know. So
right,
he's and now he doesn't have any control over trade tariffs, you know. So he's in a pickle because, you know, if you at least had a design and you could get it take your design and manufacture in other places, it might cut into your revenue, but at least you would be able to keep manufacturing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But these guys are, you know, all the design, everything is coming from somebody else. So it's just basically just a reseller. So it's gotta.
Ben's cool, the Bob Ross of fish keeping.
He's almost more professional though than Bob Ross.
Oh,
I was eating lunch today, watching Ben's stream. He was talking about, when he called big tanks like 300 gallons, 350, stuff like that.
Yeah.
like grow out tanks,
Yeah, quarantine tanks for you.
quarantine. Yeah, actually, one of my quarantine tanks is a 315, so that's close.
My quarantine tanks are 20 tall, 20 long, and then I have a 75 grow out tank. So that's all I've got.
I got 315, 20 long, 20 high, and 340s.
Most of my tanks are just 20s or 10s. I mean, 90% of my tanks are 90s. 90% of my tanks are 20 longs or 10s. I'm just a shrimpy guy.
You're a shrimpy guy.
I had plans to build some tanks and give them out to some folks, but my work has just been absolutely killing me. So it's been all I can do. It's like I'm like even my own stuff. It's like delayed. Everything's delayed. 2 weeks between videos, all that kind of stuff. It's just like trying to survive time wise right now.
Yeah, I've got to start deleting everything. Maybe I'll start tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to
Deleting
get on that
everything.
pretty quick here because your quarantine is almost up.
It is. That's gonna suck. But oh well.
Yeah, I don't know if you're in the loop on that, Jeremy, but they
Oh, he's seen. Well,
You
go
what?
ahead. Tell him anyway.
demonetized Ed for what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about it. Yeah. So
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm familiar with that. You can't use even your own content. They consider it basically just reuse, right? It's not new, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but since I'm changing the words and the voices every time, I think it should count since I've seen other channels that they literally do the same thing like 10 times over. And it's
Well,
oh well.
it's basically the reason it's gotten a lot of focus now is because AI is basically rehashing people's shit just by doing little modifications to it. And you're essentially doing little modifications to reuse stuff, and you're just getting sucked in because of that. The reason they didn't care before is there wasn't 6 million hours worth of AI crap being uploaded to the platform every day until recently, and you're just getting caught in with that. So to be safe, it's you just want to.
What I thought I would do is make like 20 different videos of the cats talking, and then I'll put my voices over them. And then when I put a new one out in that month, I'll delete last month's. So that way there's only one of the same thing ever out there at the same time. But it's a different voice and different joke. Because it's my jokes that bring in all my people.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
Each joke makes me about 25 subs, so.
if you could just record your cat for a long period of time and chop it up into a whole bunch of short little clips and then layer your voice over the clip, you'd be good,
Yeah, you see what I did was and it is my voice, I just remaster it through a machine. But what I do is I pick like the best parts where they're looking at each other or making it look like they're looking at each other like you're an idiot, So it looks like they're communicating instead of just showing just a random cat. But I probably should just do random cat with the jokes.
yeah.
So the answer to Seville Steve's question is definitely they would do well.
Oh,
There.
I don't even see any words.
Any words, huh?
Well, no, I'm not
Seven-
live. I'm not on the. Let me give you a thumbs up.
He's
Let
got
me
a
go log on.
75-gallon. He's got community Tetra Raspberry in it, Corey Katz. He wants to put Bolivian Rams and the temperature, 78 to 80 Bolivian Rams. They definitely can handle the slightly lower temperatures for Rams, like 78.
Yeah.
So
I think those are the ones that can do it, right? Because
Oh, yeah,
otherwise they need to be in the 80s.
Yeah, Bolivian Rams will do 78 all day long, no problem.
Hey, Mike.
And they'd be a nice kind of middle punchy fish for that size tank.
I did not realize that the Bolivian Rams get bigger than all the other Rams until just yesterday when Dr. Anthony told me.
Yeah,
that.
I had no idea. That
The
was
more
weird to me.
selectively bred the fish is, generally the smaller it gets and the less, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, it's awesome.
A little more fragile. Ooh, what is that? Fish from
That's
Oh,
Shady
Shady Grady.
Grady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I feel
I
like
was,
that's becoming the thing. Like you made it when you have a one of those cards made after you. You've made it to the big times.
he passed, right? Did
Yeah,
you
I do
hear?
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I
mean
got it.
specifically the Shady Grady
No,
card, just
no,
cards.
I'm saying it was weird the way that worked out. As Kyle had, he didn't even know he had passed. He had made the card for Shady, thinking that he's gonna, work with him, and
Well, I'm trying to think. I was listening to a live stream when I was working on a build. It was like a Saturday afternoon, and Shady was on there, and he was detailing the health problems he was having and everything. And he was in and out of like sort of like extended hospital care, not hospice, but like not in the hospital, but in something adjacent to it where he was getting care and everything. And it sounded pretty rough and everything. But that was a few months back.
yeah. Well, I mean, he was gone. We lost him a month before anybody even knew. April,
Yeah, yeah. This was like I think like in the fall. It wasn't cold yet.
oh, okay.
So maybe it might have been like in October or so last year. That
I would have to look on my streams. He did come up on one of mine.
he was
Uh,
he was on somebody else's stream.
yeah,
See, it's the Nazi from
Place
uh, Indiana Jones.
yeah. I
Raiders,
could tell.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll take it. I'll put a different head on him. But the outfit, I think, fits really good. Instead of a gun, it'll be a bag of fish for that Shady Grady one.
Yeah,
It's
I
always
just
a
need
little
to.
rough though when you reuse a Nazi as like sort of the base figure.
yeah.
Well,
Don't tell him that.
it's real cool because you can just pop their heads off. Maybe
And yeah,
Sure.
I just did.
Make sure you don't give him a cone head like me.
Here's the other head that he comes with.
No, as he's
The
melting,
melting
huh?
version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have looked at the arc, buddy.
Let's see. Let me go grab a different head.
all right.
Ed's playing with his dolls again.
Random cat sounds like marriage.
I always picture Ed's house. There's like a bunch of mannequins everywhere, like in different states of like,
Yeah.
like one doesn't have an arm and a head, and
Yep.
And you're just totally creeped out.
And Ed's got some strings hooked up to him, so from the other room he can just pull the string, and it's like.
Maybe Bill Barr, and I'll paint out his beard. Oh, nuts. The ball got stuck in this neck, and the ball got stuck in this head. So that means I got to pull the ball out with the pliers.
And it's
But
like,
it'll
get some
fit.
needle nose.
Yep. Let's see how he looks with the.
So is the auction still going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Let's see.
That's why we've got like 11 people in here.
Yeah, it's
They're
still
all
going
over.
on.
Would they look like Shady? Like the sticker?
Too white.
Well, I was actually thinking about making the face black and white. Yeah, I was thinking about painting one side of the face white like that and the other side black.
So he'd be like the characters in Star Trek.
And maybe.
So who else do we know has a Fish Room Punk card made after him so far? Doesn't Jeff Kane have one?
Yep.
Oh, Jeremy has one. Or not Jeremy, Jason has one. Prime time.
Brian time.
He does?
Yep.
The guy who makes them is in Chicago, right? So they got that.
Yeah. Makes sense. Although there's no whip one yet.
I know.
The
No
hell?
Whips World.
I live in his backyard. He can't make me a fish room punk? Son of a bitch.
Actually, I was looking at the intro whip, and you had your logo up there, and you had this like dark brown auburn hair. I was like, man, when did he make that logo? That was a couple decades ago.
Just a few.
I always just assumed you had blonde hair when you were younger. Did you have brown hair?
It's been so many different colors. When I was born, it was red. Then I was like a strawberry blonde. And then it went really dark for a while.
Huh.
And then it went back to a blonde like this. People thought I dyed my hair. I'm like, nope. It just does its own thing. And now it's a lot of gray. Right there, you can see there's a big old chunk of gray in there.
For a while, shaving it every week was working, but now it just looks gray, so it doesn't matter. So, past the point of no return.
I just do the bandana.
Let's see. Deb says, "Hey, don't knock Ed. I customize Transformer characters." Well, we're not knocking Ed.
No. Just making fun of him, that's all.
We might make a little fun of him. That's all. Yeah.
Hey, for all we know, he might have mannequins all around his
Hey,
house. We don't actually know for a fact one way or the other.
Mannequins?
Ed, do you have any full-size mannequins in your house?
Manny Quinn.
I actually. Oh, well, I have.
You got a head.
I have the head,
Yeah.
and it talks.
It talks.
Its eyes got bigger, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think we're vindicated just with the head, you know. I mean, a talking head, you know.
You regret wasting money on such a ridiculous product?
I don't. It was the best $200 I ever spent.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, you ever walked in on your Nana knitting?
Dude, I heard the other night, I think it was Thursday night, Ed was talking about the price they were charging him for the door and everything. It just made me sick. It's like, good Lord, I'll come down, I'll drive down there and install a door. It's take like a freaking hour, man, to shim up a door and lock it in, you know?
That's contractors for you.
Oh.
Well, and that's the thing is, we
did it.
I just do the building stuff on the side. Putting in a freaking interior door like that, that's super easy.
Right.
Yeah, my mom didn't want to bother us, so that's why she was paying somebody else to do it. And then she just kept getting more upset. But Zen Ginger has one.
One what? A door?
A sticker.
No, a card.
Oh, a sticker.
That's some awesome hair right there.
Yep. Father Fish has one.
Oh, God.
Grab the gunk. Actually, hey, have you guys ever run across a channel called Skeptical Aquatics?
Yes.
He has
all about talking bad about people. I mean, you know.
There's Corey.
Well, he has a couple of Father Fish videos.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw him one night when he was just going off on Father Fish.
Yeah, so what I usually I was telling Whip earlier, Saturday is my day that agreed upon with the family that I come down to the fish basement. I work on my big DIY project, you know, leave me alone, you know, good 10-hour stretch, do some serious building. So I'm always looking for some long fish live streams and stuff to listen to while I work. And he had like a 3-hour plus stream. I was like, all right, let's go. You know? And man, we went down the rabbit hole of Father Fish in that stream big time.
And then next one he had was Fiona or some woman who's now on YouTube with her fish, and she's always dressed.
Yes, the butt woman. That's what he called it. Butt woman.
Yeah, they were.
Those were the two live streams I listened to.
Yep, me too. It's like, man, you know, does this guy do anything besides talk bad about people?
Yeah, I don't know. We caught the two. I have to see what else is out there.
Yep, I haven't checked him out since that. You know, I didn't subscribe, so I don't know.
There were some other streams, but the problem is like there's only certain times that I'm ready for a 3-hour stream. You know, it's got to be during building time.
Skeptical. I knew what I meant to say.
Skeptical Aquatics.
Skeptical.
Yeah, he's kind of. I think he's a faceless channel. He never shows.
I know he never shows his face. Yep, he just talks. Yep.
But he's taking on the juicy topics. So you know.
Yep.
Oh, I'm even subbed. I told you I hadn't heard of him, but I'm subbed to him. So what does that tell you?
Maybe he'll do one on Dr. Novak.
And what is what's his better half's name?
I don't know.
The butt.
No,
It's another YouTube channel.
That's another YouTube channel that he was. They were talking about she's using her sexuality to get
shocker.
to get subs. Well,
I mean,
You gotta
it's kinda
use
like,
you gotta do your strengths.
that's right.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of what that should surprise nobody. So
Yeah, and this is
at the end of the day, if you get something that you enjoy out of the video, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. It's about as simple as that. It doesn't really matter what they're doing.
Yeah, no one forces you to watch their stuff
Yeah,
or
I mean,
subscribe to them.
I don't think someone's going to sit there and be like, I really love this fish content, but I don't like seeing her butt. I think it's going to probably just work itself out.
So what channel is this butt girl on?
I don't know her name.
Yeah, I don't. He said her name, but then most of the stream he referenced her as the butt lady, whatever. So I don't really remember the name.
I got replaced by a Hooter lady once.
How'd you get replaced by a Hooter lady?
I used to help a lot of different people out as a co-host, but nobody needs me anymore. But Chris from AquaZone, he ghosted me and didn't tell me he was going to change times and everything, and made me sit there 2 weeks in a row, and that made me mad. And then he came back on a different time with a chick. And then after 3 episodes, she got creeped out and left, from what I understand.
Speaking of Chris AquaZone, there he is.
Chris AquaZone. Different Chris.
Oh, okay.
But I am on that Chris's channel sometimes.
You said Chris from AquaZone.
Yeah, you did. He made
his ears must have been burning, Ed. You were pretty hard on him.
You confused. You confused your Chris's. What was his name? He was out in California with you there, Doc.
No, he was real close to where he lives now. He lives in the Washington side of Portland.
You mean Vancouver?
Are you talking about multi-tank addiction, Chris?
That's who I thought you were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, he's right across the river from Portland and Washington.
Oh, geez, I thought he was on the other coast.
In Milwaukee, I think it's called. No, that's where Kenny is. Kenny's
no. MTA is right across the river from Portland.
Yeah.
In Washington. Yeah.
Kenny's right across the river from Portland, but to the east of Portland.
Yeah, the other side.
Still the Portland area, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I was talking about the right guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. MTA is north, Kenny is east.
Yep. And I'm west of Portland.
I'm east of Portland.
Doesn't Southeast. Portland have like a saying like stay weird or something?
Yeah, keep Portland weird.
Yeah, keep Portland weird,
Yeah.
A buddy of mine from kind of like lifelong friend from little kids. Both his daughters, they're like in their maybe like late 20s, early 30s. They both ended up in Portland. So
they're trying to clean it up now, though.
Oh, maybe they'll leave.
Well, Portland area, I don't know exactly where they're at. They're probably not like in downtown or anything, but they're both tall, so they played volleyball for the university there, or for Oregon, and then they ended up somewhere there, so for work. Which is really weird because he's not tall and his wife isn't tall and his son isn't tall, but he has 3 daughters and they're all tall.
The milkman was tall.
Yeah, apparently. And I mean, when I say they're tall, they're like 5'11", but for women, that's pretty tall.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
And he's 5'10", his wife's 5'6", and his son's like 5'6" or 5'8" maybe something. So weird how that worked out.
Weird.
That is weird. Oh, I wish my elbow didn't hurt.
So I got my mom's side. So like my dad is like thin and tall, or he's passed away, but he was thin and tall. I have 2 brothers who are thin and very tall. And then I look just like all the guys in my mom's family. I'm 6 foot, but I was always much thicker, like, usually around 225, that kind of weight, First, my brothers are like, they might be like 164, 163, but they weigh, one weighs 205, the other one weighs 185 or something. They're very thin.
I bet you could beat them in wrestling then.
Oh yeah, I can beat them in everything. I mean, they're tall, but they're thin. They're very thin. Totally different build. Like my mom's family, they had 11 kids in my mom's side, and all her brothers and stuff. They're all very thick. All like around 6 foot and just thick. So my dad's side was all like tall, thin.
My family's pretty small. I don't have very many relatives. Well, I guess my cousins that are still in the Czech Republic, they're all real tall guys. They're all like 6'4" to 6'5", and they're pretty thin. But it might be just because they have bad food there.
They had bad what? Food?
Bad food, yeah.
You don't get fat till you're old in the Czech Republic.
There ain't no Buc-ee's in the Czech Republic. So.
That's right.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take me to a Buc-ee's if I ever get out there.
You bet. There's a Buc-ee's kind of close to where Whip's going to be moving.
Yeah.
Probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes from your house.
Whip
like that. I mean, once they actually get it started and I can do a drive-by, I'll know better because, a lot of times, well, Ed, it may look close on the map, but there's some zigging and zagging up and down mountainsides that takes place that extends your trip.
Come to think of it, Xanadu, the mailman was like 6'4".
Yeah.
Interesting.
Stu got some really nice fish in the auction today. He got some Bosmanis that were really nice. Just saying. Jeremy, do you have any rainbow fish?
Yeah, I have a bunch of them in my 600 Asian jungle. There's Bosmanis, and I have some. What are they called? Precox, and I have some shit. What's the other one? The ones that some people don't think they truly qualify as rainbows. They're smaller.
Oh no.
Oh, Pacific blue eyes?
No, they're like silver with red and blue. They're smaller.
I don't know rainbows. So
yeah, a lot of true rainbow people don't consider them to be a rainbow, but they're
Pseudomoogles.
Pseudomagills.
Yeah, Pseudomagills. Yeah.
Good job, Dr. Anthony.
Yep. No, I read it from Select Pet.
Oh, it's Select here? Hey, John.
John is a really smart guy. You should probably drop me and have John come up because he's smarter than me.
All right. Bye.
Well,
okay.
I think if it's about smartness, if it's about intelligence, you might as well just wipe the whole panel and bring it in.
Right. Well, Doc can stay.
Oh, no, sorry, Doc can stay, but yeah.
I don't claim to be smart. I always tell people it only takes two things to get an education. Truly. You don't have to be smart.
Time and money.
Money and stick-to-itness. Because C's get you degrees.
Technically, It could just be one thing. If you have enough money alone is enough.
That's true. You can buy degrees out there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or just fame. Wasn't
honorary
Bill
fame,
Cosby made a doctor?
No, he actually had a PhD, educational doctorate degree.
Somebody was made a doctor like way after the fact, and then afterwards people said, oh, maybe they shouldn't have given him one. Oh, well.
Well, you can get a lot of places give you an honorary doctorate, even if you have
I'm losing you. There it is.
Losing who? Who
I
you
don't
losing?
know.
Whip.
I
lost you guys for a minute.
I gotta get some cornstarch. I forgot cornstarch.
What you guys don't know is that before every stream, Doc Anthony does like 6 or 7 bong hits and then takes
Yeah.
like a couple shots of Fireball. He's just got to lower
good
his
looking.
IQ down enough to match up with us so he can interact.
Yeah.
My cousin and I, when we go back to our hometown, we say it's like we get like minus 50 IQ points. We all become morons when we get home. You know, we revert back to our teenage years and act like fools. It never fails. We just do that.
Depth charge, yes. Eventually, I will be moving to Tennessee. I already bought the property. I just have to get retired.
Instead of Nancy B from Tennessee, you'll be Whip Rolls from Tennessee.
That's right.
Have you
Nancy
thought about
B's here.
Western
She must be multitasking.
Western Maryland.
Or hell, even West Virginia.
Wow, West Virginia is gorgeous. The mountainous region there.
Yeah, Whip, let's get you a spot in like either Romney or Harper's Ferry. That'd be perfect.
There's not much in West Virginia.
Mountain Mama.
My niece,
Okay, that's the Mountain
They're-
Mama I'm talking about.
they're thinking about moving to Chattanooga because the pay is so terrible there. Her husband's an engineer and he's getting paid like a McDonald's employee here.
What
I
you
mean,
looking for? Ed?
if you're
Where
in,
are you looking to move me at? Where are you looking to take me? I missed
What are we
that
talking
part of the
about?
conversation.
To West
Yeah.
Virginia.
Ed's saying
For
you
a
should maybe
vacation?
either West Virginia or Western Maryland, Whip.
Oh, I don't know if I want to go
No,
out
he's
there.
already bought his land. He's close to
No,
me. He can't move.
You
But that's too
told-
far away from me. I need him over here.
You
closer
said
to me.
you didn't want him close to you. Hey, Depth Charge lives in West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Mountain Mama. I already said Mountain Mama. That's why I said Mountain Mamas live in West Virginia.
So you're calling Depth Charge a Mountain Mama?
No,
Oh.
your niece a Mountain Mama.
She doesn't have any kids, but she does have a cat.
What? You have to be a Mountain Mama to have kids?
I think it kind of applies in the name,
Oh, okay.
Mama.
I'll be right back.
We'll be
I'll
right
be
here.
right back too.
Just me and you,
Good
Whip.
Lord.
I mean,
And then he sat still for 15 seconds.
I know he hasn't. You know, he
I
comes
can
back
still
and he
hear
looks
you.
for
Don't talk
things.
trash about me.
No,
I won't talk trash about you as far as you know.
no, it's dead silent.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Where did you see Nancy B? Was she just?
No, she wasn't in there, but I'm just saying you'd be
Oh.
like, Nancy B from Tennessee. You'd be
Yeah. I got you.
from
Okay.
Tennessee.
I
And
thought
he's
she
gonna
had
be
come in and said that.
he's gonna be next to a fish store called Wick's World.
Wick.
Seriously?
Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, she was mad when she found out my mom was older than her.
Why?
She says, I'm the oldest lady in this house. That's what she said.
Okay.
And then my mom said how old she was. She went, oh, and just kind of stormed off. She's a funny lady.
So Ed, what you making?
I am making a G.I. Joe bad guy. He was, it might be easier if I just show you. It seems like whenever I make a G.I. Joe, they make one like the next year. So
So they
maybe he'll be
copy
for
you,
sale
huh?
next year.
They
Yeah.
copy you.
But he's like half plant, half reptile, half human. They like live in the middle of the earth and he's like 10,000 years old or something.
Why don't you
He's
make
been
one like,
waiting for his opportunity to beat men.
why don't you do like Swamp Thing? Make a Swamp Thing.
Well, this is what he looks like.
Yeah, but
He floats
You
around
watch-
this big pod, and
you
I'm
watch-
making the pod, and then this is going to be him.
looks like Steve Austin.
It is originally,
Oh,
but I've
okay.
got to get rid of the beard
Oh, okay.
and put on paint his stuff. This is what he looks like close up.
Oh, okay.
So I was looking for a bald wrestler, and this one had a baseball hat, so it like also knocked my problem of losing that expensive hat for Skipper out. because I had lost his baseball hat.
Mm-hmm.
$10 and I lose it. What a
Damn
ripoff.
it!
Should have glued it on his head.
I should have just did that. But actually, I think the camouflage is more skippery.
Yep. So Select Pet says it's going to take a tiny razor to shave off his beard.
Yep. Or some gasoline. Turpentine, something like that. But John knows things that the average person doesn't know.
Oh, okay.
What does he know?
I don't know, because otherwise I would not be impressed with him. Ask him anything. John, how many fish tanks do you have in your house right now?
Oh, that takes brains to figure that out. Just count. That's right. Ed has problems counting.
I can't count them right now. I've never even been in his house. I came close to knowing how many fish tanks were in Jeremy's house tonight, though, didn't I, Whip?
Yeah, you did.
I'm cool like that.
Whip is lurking tonight in his own stream.
I totally am.
You are. You haven't said much.
I just won a koozie.
On
Oh,
what?
how much?
$45.
Oh, you're
All I had was 25. I didn't think I'd win anything with 25.
No, not with 25. You can't do anything with 25.
you're on the auction, huh?
I'm not even on my own stream.
I know. Jeez.
Well, I went over there to see where they're at. They're almost done. So, and then I saw that the one thing I was bidding on all prior to jumping up here is it was up again because they're giving away multiple. They were going for $75, $85 early on. I'm like, I'm not spending $85 on a koozie.
120, I think, or 125 for the first one.
One of the first
80.
ones, yeah. Oh, Xanadu got one for 50. So yeah, it's in the same ballpark. I got one for 45.
I remember one of Skipper's auctions. They had Ross Baltimore on there, and he had all these awesome cichlids that I wanted, but I wasn't ready for them yet because I was in the middle of some other stuff, and nobody else was bidding on them or anything. And I was like, "Well, I'll get them next time." And then next time he came on, he brought a bunch of like non-cichlids, like because he was trying to match up to the crowd,
Sorry, June. I apologize. I didn't know you were here, or I would have been more sympathetic to your plight. But I was in the same boat for up until like 45 seconds ago. I'm like bidding $45. I'm like, oh, I can't go much higher than $45. And then somebody comes in and bids $125. I'm like, what the shit? Yeah, crazy. I understand that's a good cause and all, but.
I decided to try a different fish for tubbing this summer.
What'd you go with?
I'm going to try sparkling grammies.
Oh, there you go. I think I'm there.
I've never done them.
So you got something. That's good. That's good.
And then I was really bad. Dr. Ted, I just bought his book online during it for $19.
Ted Coletti?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he was on there early on. He came on. I don't know.
He really wants your banana hammock.
Apparently so. He's swinging around like a Whip's World Thong is up for auction. Whip's World Thong, whatever he was saying. I'm like, what? How do you pick me out of the group here?
Something I missed at last year's class, Whip?
You're right. Select Pat says, sparkling grammies bubble nesters.
Yeah, nice looking fish though.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to try to tub them and see how it goes.
Oh, okay. So she won, but not this time around. It was a couple months ago. Well, it's still fun. I like winning. I just don't like paying. I have to figure out how to pay them now. Who I'm paying.
Who else did you buy from?
That's it. I mean, I put a few bids out, but they went way too much, too fast. I was out before you knew it. Did you go over there at all, Jeremy? No.
Yeah,
Hello?
I caught a couple of them
Yeah.
when I
I think
was.
I watched the first 3 hours.
There was one where it was like ram's horn snails, endlers, and guppies, and some plants.
Yeah, that was Jody P. She's a really good kid, but yeah, there
Yeah,
was
I
nothing
caught
there. I
that
mean,
one and the one after it, and then came down here to work on the video and everything. So just had to go start the upload.
It's awesome. I bought a harness.
I have the
I bought a head harness and a chest harness. So
Now you
now I
just
need to do a walk.
yeah, you got to practice.
Yeah. I
I'll
think
bring
the
you
gimbal
a-
is still going to be the way to go, though.
I'll lend you a GoPro, Ed. That way you won't be shaky. The stabilization on those is awesome.
See, I've always
You
wanted
just have to have a
buy
lot of
one.
light. They're horrible at low light.
Hmm.
I've
But
never
if you want to
used
wear
one.
it like around the Clash or something, it'll be perfect.
Oh, cool. Well, I was thinking about doing like something where I'd wear a thing all over the place for, and this thing is for GoPros and cameras, it says. This chest thing and head
Probably
thing.
the phone's going to be shaky. Stabilization on phones isn't very good, so not for
Well,
walking around.
I was thinking like when I do the Aqua Experience next year, I do the walkthrough with Whip, and then the rest of the time I just record walking around doing my thing, and then I just edit pieces out. So like the walking, I just edit all that out, and then I'll just do like when I'm talking to people or
Yeah, I
looking at
remember
a
the
particular
last
fish.
one. Those little kids were like doing the ticket thing wrong. You were trying to help them, so they didn't.
God, yeah. And you know what? The kid still ended up putting both sides of his ticket in there for that
I
toy.
didn't get the impression he was hearing what you were saying. So yeah,
Yeah, right. Ed, did your harness come with a leash? John wants to know.
The head harness,
that's
and I've got a.
a different convention right there.
Ed.
Where's the chest harness? I don't know where the chest harness is.
All you need to know is did it come with a leash?
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Where did it go? I don't know where it went.
Depth charge says he's tanked. Yep,
Oh.
attaboy.
Probably with my guppies.
No, they're swimming around fine.
Only Oscars is taking him to the Findig for Danikin. Oh,
Taking
you're gonna
what?
get to hook up with some pluckos.
Okay.
Daniel Ingalls is in the house. Welcome
Well,
aboard.
hello there.
We got Depth charge saying the only thing I harness is my
Shep Waller.
Shep Wheeler. I guess that's a dog?
I guess.
Could be one of those really big rabbits.
I'm going to guess it's a mix between a German Shepherd and a Rottweiler, right?
Maybe, yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's one of those really big furry rabbits that's like 3 foot long.
That's
I
only
can
when
tell
you've been.
From firsthand experience, that jackrabbits are real. And when I lived in San Antonio, outside of San Antonio, they do get about 4 feet, 4.5 feet tall, and they're no joke.
And they're fast.
Yeah, they like to run in front of cars. You know.
Yep.
What was that, Nelson?
I clipped one time, accidentally, but he bounced off and just kept on rolling. So he just caught the hairy edge of the front of my Forerunner. So it's like, off he went.
Oh, he just kept rolling?
I thought it was a freaking kid, man, because it was like tan colored, kind of like skin colored, and it was late at night. And I was sort of half in and out dozing, right, driving, and like the
Oh, that's
legal
always
speed.
good.
Yeah, the legal speed limit's like 80 at night, 90 in the day, there, and all of a sudden this thing comes flying out, and thunk, and I'm like, oh my god! And I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, that's a giant rabbit or something. It's like, the hell? So,
You better not
actually,
mess up my car.
I was driving home from the airport. I had come back from a business trip, and I got home and I went on the internet and I did a search for giant rabbits, whatever, and then it came up with this like West Texas giant jackrabbit thing. I was like, holy shit, that's it. That was it right there. That's the first time I ever learned that they exist. That was in like 2005. So I mean, I lived like 30 something years before I ever knew there was giant rabbits in West Texas.
Man, and I'll tell you what, I was thinking, this is the way my brain works, is I'm thinking, okay, well, out there, what are the predators that would probably take that down? And then my next thought was, man, I just saw a clip. What do they call them? A reel or a short. I don't remember where I was watching it at, but this eagle had come down and snagged a freaking antelope. Like a freaking deer, damn near. Just grabbed it and picked it up. I'm like, holy crap, how big is that bird that he can pick that up? And it just flew away with it. I think it dropped it at one point and grabbed it again.
Check this shit out. I was, when my son was younger, he played like youth soccer, We were at a soccer game at like one of those places, like a sports complex with like fields everywhere. Soccer fields everywhere. And one of the people on our side, they had like a little dog, like a toy poodle or Shih Tzu or something,
Right.
And it was pretty well trained, and they had it off the leash, and it was sort of running around. And a big freaking hawk came down and freaking grabbed it and started to take off with it. Got about, I don't know, like 8-10 feet in the air and dropped it. And fortunately, a bunch of people were running over there. They literally caught the dog. But I mean, it punctured a couple holes in him and everything.
Yeah, I bet.
Fixed up, and I was like, there was people everywhere, right? I mean, it's a whole sideline full of parents, and the dog was right there, just a few feet away from us, 5-6 feet away, and that just happened out of freaking nowhere. And it wasn't an eagle; it was a big hawk, but it was still a hawk, not an eagle. And it was like, holy crap,
My buddy is a falconist his name's Ted Gluchowski. And he's always trying to get me into it. But he had these hawks from Arizona that work as a team. And so what he'd do is a bunch of falconists would all get them, and then they would take them out to like Kansas where there's giant jackrabbits. And they would all swoop down and take out the jackrabbit together.
That's it. Daniel just said it was a jackalope. That's what it is.
No, it's not.
It was a giant. It's a giant rabbit. It's really big.
But jackalope are the ones that they've kind of turned into the with the antlers.
It's got horns.
And the whole thing. No, it didn't have horns, but I mean, it's really, really big. I mean, I don't know. I mean, picture you're in a 4Runner, and the head of the thing, you can see it over the hood. It's very tall. I mean, it was freakishly big.
Well, I wasn't lying to you. I meant it. Big rabbits. Oh well.
I don't know if like a rabbit doesn't even seem like the right name for it though, because it's so tall.
Let's see. Big ass pet rabbits.
Big ass pet rabbits.
But no, specifically look like in West Texas, because they're like a wild rabbit out there. No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't. It was skinny.
The jackrabbits were skinny.
Yeah, jackrabbits were skinny.
But I was meaning this for that one that we didn't know what it was. These giant rabbits for harnests.
Because this one wasn't like that. This one was much thinner and taller, and its ears were really, really long.
Yep.
I don't know what June was saying here. I think she.
No, I was not inebriated or any drugs. I was coming back from a business trip. It's like I was just tired because I had a long flight. It was only like maybe 11 o'clock at night or something. You know? I was on 1604, the Outer Beltway in San Antonio, just going from the airport to the east side where I live.
Yep, that's them
There
right
they
there.
are.
Yep.
Yeah, like that, but it looked even bigger than that.
They got some big ass ears.
Because
You
they're
should have kept the ears.
nocturnal.
But that what Ed just showed, that's what it was. It was like that, but just a little bit bigger.
But I wasn't referring to that you keep a harness on.
Now, I don't
No.
think you can harness these things, man. They're like
We've gone
just-
full circle. We're back to the harness.
They say you need a harness with a leash there, Ed.
I know where I'm going. I don't need one.
You might. We have to keep tabs on you. You might
That's right.
wander off.
Gosh, I was
I've
all
seen
over the
some
place at the
movies
Clash.
with
Remember
giant
the
rabbits.
Clash?
Apparently, once they get a certain size, they get a taste for human flesh.
I don't live in Texas anymore. I live in Maryland now, so I'm safe.
What about the Clash?
Whip
Like
and I were
TikTok
supposed
things
to
or-
watch Professor Fish's booth. And I said, yeah, no problem. We'll do it. And then I got drug off. And I didn't get back until 5 minutes before Professor Fish got back. And he's thanking us both for spending the hour there. And I'm like,
And
yeah, no problem.
I was sitting there like this the whole time. Like, nobody, he had nothing that anybody wanted. You know, he was just standing there the whole time, which is why he probably wanted to walk away for a while.
Well,
He was the only one that had saltwater that last year, right? This past year. I don't
What do you
remember
have?
anybody else having saltwater.
Was he
Well, that's what
selling
you get.
saltwater stuff?
was
A little
giving
bit of
it away.
saltwater. And then, yeah, well, that was a prize. But then he also had some stuff he was selling. But he didn't have prices on anything.
Yeah.
So people would walk up to the table, look at it, and they're like, "How much is it?" And I'm like, "I'm just watching this so nobody steals anything. I have no idea. If he didn't tell you, he didn't tell me."
I'm
Dude, I
like, I
screwed up
think
at
it's
the
just for
Clash
look.
last year. There was that one lady selling Cory cats, and she had albino stirby and Schultz eye and everything. She had a lot of nice Cory cats for a really good price. I just wasn't ready with my community tanks at that time, but I should have got them and just sat on them. You know?
Yep.
I didn't realize how good her price was, because I really hadn't been shopping them. But then everywhere I looked, I was like, she had a great price.
Yeah, I did the same thing from the year before. I was so freaking pissed at myself because they had oh, now I'm gonna forget the name of them, but the pleco that's basically white and black with the zigzags on it. What are those?
Not the zebra, but
It's a higher end one.
Pleco?
It's a pleco.
333.
That
L40.
sounds right. 333, I think, is correct, but I don't remember what what they had up there.
it was like a king tiger.
Is
Yeah,
it the L303 that's the watermelon?
that watermelon is a green one though, right?
Yeah.
This was like a super
Super
white
white.
with black zigzags all over them, and I'm like, oh, that is cool, and it was like $30, which wasn't. Maybe it was even less, maybe $20. And now I'm looking at them, and they're like $70, $80, $90. I'm like, oh my god, I could have bought like 4 of them.
That's like last year at the Clash, there was a guy selling peacock African cichlids. He had like lemon jakes for like in the 20s and stuff. It's like just the timing was off. But like if those people are there this year, I'm gonna clear them out. So
Right. Well, you damn near did that to the one dude with the Angels, right? I mean,
yeah, Mike's Bulgarian greens, baby. No, that thing was awesome, man. Because I was like, hey, do you mind? I was like, are you gonna be here on the last day? And he said, yeah. I was like, can I just get them then? You know, bring them in. I'll buy them right at the end, so I can just take them in the truck, drive them home, and get them in. You know, and I said, do you have smaller ones? Because I'm in the process of building the tank these are going to go into. So I got time, right? So I want the smallest ones possible. And he's like, yeah, I got another batch at home. And just awesome working with that guy. And
Hey, one more.
all of those fish are in the 1,200 gallon right now. You know, the new Amazon Islands. All those fish are his fish that Not a single die off or anything. Just awesome.
Nice. And his name was Mike, because one more fish says he's a great
Yeah,
guy.
Mike. It's called Mike's Bulgarian Greens, but his brother does rainbow fish and he does angelfish. You know, they both had great stuff and everything. We worked a deal. We did a bulk deal. I was like, what's the price if I want 30 of them?
See you later, depth charge. Have a good night.
All right, yep.
Night, Deb.
We did this show for depth charge, so we can leave now, right?
Let me see how they're doing. Oh, nope, they're still going.
No, they're over, but I don't think it's. They've sold out of most of the stuff. I mean, they're done with the stuff that they had.
So Just One Fish is saying that he's good friends with Mike, and I assume the other guy's his brother, Wes, who's doing what does the rainbows.
Oh, okay.
I'll be hitting them again this year. Actually, funny. Last year I needed all those angels. This year I need rainbows, so I'll be hitting up his brother this year.
I think Xanadu's leaving too. Are you leaving Xanadu?
This dude's gonna buy all the fish this year.
I was looking at my 600 Asian jungle, and I was like, man, a lot of these fish are dying off, and I'm just like thinking, like, when did I get them? Okay, in 2019, I was like, yeah, I guess they're just aging out,
That's a bummer.
For sure. One more. I think we've talked about this. I didn't even realize you were at the Clash. I might have even talked to you without realizing who I was talking to.
You know what I hate is when people change their channel names, because it's hard enough to remember everyone's names, When they go and change them, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, there's a couple people that tried to do that.
It's really tough. Like when I do Aquashella or somewhere, and the people come up and they shake my hand and they know me, and their name tag is their real life name, but not their channel name, and I have no idea who they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I put my sticker on my like they'll give me my little placket card thing that you hang around your neck, and I put my sticker on there, so because otherwise, yeah, like I just said, I mean, nobody would know.
Well, I just register for everything as AquariumDomain. Just first name Aquarium, last name Domain.
Yeah,
that's what I do. Is Jen?
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna know me is Jeremy?
Yeah. Well, more and more people as you get more involved with the.
Well, there's a crap load of Jeremys all of a sudden,
Yeah, there is.
And there's a Jerobi, like phonetically, spelled, so it's like, it's. I like the people who just call me AD, because that's actually easier to know they're talking to me. If they say Jeremy, because a lot of times JN is on there. He's a Jeremy.
Yep, so. That's my buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you say AD or whatever, I know it's me, so it's even easier.
I got to find another thing at Clay quick.
One more. What is your name? One more. You're like a Jason or a Justin or a something. Hey, Nancy.
Nancy B, kind of like Whip World B of Tennessee.
That doesn't flow nearly as well.
Okay,
Whippy,
sorry.
Whippy of Tennessee. No, that doesn't work either.
So Cheryl Smith, they're all coming over now, Whip.
Yeah, right. Yeah. they must have ended. Yep. So John says, "Hey, Whip, did you go to say hi to one more and then disappear for the rest of the weekend?" Because that's what happened. He and I were talking on the way to OCA, like multiple times through the chat, and I'm like, "Yeah, we'll have to hook up over there." So I met him like damn near as I walked in the door. And then I never saw him again for the entire weekend. He was just, our paths were like circular, I think, or something. I'm not sure what happened.
That happened.
Special hello to New Local Austin.
Oh,
I did not. New Local
That happened
Mike.
with me with at OCA with Mike Loves Fish. Right when I got there, we were coming in at the same time, and we started talking and everything like that. We actually went out with another guy who works at a Pittsburgh aquarium, had dinner and everything. And it's like, okay, this was the very first night. So I'm like, I'm sure I'll see you over the weekend. Didn't see him again the whole weekend.
Right. Hey, Ben, Danny V.
I've been. I bet you maybe their show was over.
Yeah, I'm
Ed,
guessing.
that's what I said, Ed. Where
I
you
wasn't
been?
paying attention.
That's the problem.
I'd stabbed my finger though with this knife.
Oh, so you were
Just
distracted.
tell them we started like 3 minutes ago, so they
Yeah.
won't think we've been going for an hour. You know?
Yeah. Zenny, if you're here, you're still here, right? Zenny. Hey, Dee Dee.
Gun?
Who do I PayPal for that koozie?
It was
towel?
up
Hi,
on
Dee
the
Dee.
screen, bozo.
I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Go back
It's
and
hard to
re-look
do.
it, rewatch
I
it.
don't know, man. They want it tonight.
Dee Dee's repping the NC tonight, as always.
Don't mess with Dee Dee or she'll break your ass.
There you go.
Yeah, right. Hey,
Zen
Cheryl.
posted it there.
Oh, thank you, Zenny. I appreciate it. No, that's for Foxland. I'm not paying them, am I?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
paying them.
That's the whole concept.
Yeah, you pay them.
Oh, I thought, okay. Well, then I could do that. That's easy.
Yeah.
I've been giving them money for 3 or 4 months, just a little as I can do it.
Hey, can I ask Dee Dee an important question? Is she still here?
No.
I bet you she
can't.
is.
No, you can't.
Dee Dee, do you know the actual purple color of the wedding? Like their colors that they're going with? Because I've got to make the tie and I need a background color for the tie. And I want to make sure it's the right purple. I don't want the wrong purple.
Purple's purple.
No, it's not, man. It could be Barney purple or it could
No,
be
it's not, man.
it could be midnight purple. Did Dee Dee already leave? I bet Dee Dee left. She said, I will send it to you on Messenger, Ed. Or did she say messengered and just didn't, the ED got pulled off the messenger?
I'm sure that's what it is. She probably just missed
She said
it.
messenger, then she was going to say something about erectile dysfunction, but then she got cut off. So.
Yeah, so she just put the initials in for it. ED.
I bet Dee Dee has never had that problem.
Yeah, I don't think she was talking
Yeah,
about
let's hope she hasn't had that problem.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yep.
Her husband would be in for a shock.
How do you spell koozie?
Koozie?
With a
Is
C?
Coozie, I think.
It's IE, not Y?
I don't know.
I don't think
I
it's
don't
got a
either.
Z. I don't think it has an I.
Because woozy is W-O-O-Z-Y.
Coozie.
Up koozies for sale. It's
Hey, Jane.
Koozie's.
My big boy says hi right there. The 18-inch Oscar.
Oh. I had an 18-inch Oscar and then he died while I was on vacation.
Our Oscars aren't even that big at the aquarium in Peru.
I've never owned a Oscar.
Hey, Doc, you going to the Clash this year?
I know I'll go to OCA, not the Clash, I don't think.
Well, if you feel like driving 7 hours east after you go to the OCA, come check this guy out.
I haven't decided about the Clash yet. My wife says go, but I'm not.
Well, this is the year to go. You got the wedding, you got the aquarium co-op crew out there. I mean, a lot of happenings. Seems like a good year.
He lives near the co-op crew, though.
I do.
Yeah, but when Corey comes out east, he cuts loose. He's a different guy altogether. It's East Coast Corey.
Corey doesn't like me, so
Corey has bought me dinner a couple of times. He is a very generous guy.
He just doesn't like the doctor.
Yeah. We've
That's
had
West
issues.
Coast Corey. East Coast Corey, you don't know. Maybe he likes you out here.
Depends. I may be going to a conference in India, so I don't know, which means I can
Then
only afford one aquarium trip.
I would go to India because I would try to get some guppies. Indian
Indian
guppies are
guppies?
the best guppies. Nobody gets them.
No, bring back some chana from India, Doc.
Well, yeah. No, if I would bring back some the rainbow pipefish.
Actually, they've got a lot of really nice
Yep.
high elevation river fish there.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep. For
Yeah,
sure.
why is that? Actually, that's crazy. Why is that turned off to us? I mean, I get it with like Burma and everything, or Myanmar now,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
but India, I mean, they've got a lot of the same fish. I don't know why can't we get them from India?
I think it's they don't have the infrastructure to export. I think
I
what it
mean,
is.
Thailand does,
I
Vietnam
know.
does, but they know that's
I
crazy.
know it doesn't make sense.
It's like
Yeah.
But
Cambodia. Cambodia has some great fish. You know, when I was doing surveys in Cambodia, there are some fish that you don't find in Thailand, but there's just no infrastructure to export any fish. There are no exporters out of Cambodia at all.
Well, I've seen a little bit of video of the exporters from Brazil, from predatory fins, and from
Yeah.
Ecuador, from Corey, and they both were pretty sketchy. So I guess I can
Yeah.
kind of get it, you know. But
And what were these? I was trying
just
to do
basically the holding
multitasking.
facility before they get shipped out, they're pretty freaking rough. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it kind of blows your mind that it's not rocket science here, and what they were doing was just the bare minimum you could do, and then keep some of these things alive. You know, and I'm
Mhm.
just
Hey,
like,
Gina.
if you're in the business of holding live animals, that just seem really, really whack. That's the level they were at. But
Yep.
I should be sleeping, but here I am.
it's always Saturday. You can sleep in on a Sunday. Come on.
I know. Hey, Whip,
Oh, and we're officially my birthday now. So
happy
Oh,
birthday there,
woo-hoo! Yay!
AB, or AD, not AB. But I was one letter off with my wife's password today.
Ah,
Yep.
he got locked out. I don't know if you caught any of
Got
that,
locked
Jeremy.
out of her computer, so I couldn't print what I needed to print. So there was 2 letters, and I only thought there was 1 letter. So
thanks, Zen. Thanks, Dee Dee.
And Dee Dee, I did get your
Carol, thank you.
email.
Dee Dee, I didn't get your email though. Sorry, haven't gotten it yet.
No, you don't deserve it.
okay, I'm back.
No.
I got to put a timer on.
I
Dee Dee
save
has
up everything once a year, and I just get all to Dee Dee at once at the Clash. You know.
Yeah. Dee Dee hasn't emailed me since the Aquatic Morning Show days.
Dee Dee and I talk 8 times a day.
8 times?
Yeah.
What are you
Even-
talking about?
Even when she's
Just-
at work doing her prison guard?
She's retired. She doesn't actually do that anymore.
Oh, she retired? I didn't know that. See, lots of things have happened since the Aquatic Morning Show.
So, Doc, what he didn't tell you is that Dee Dee is the name of one of his mannequins.
Yeah.
I've got my Dee Dee action figure in the other room.
I thought we broke up,
Oh,
Doc.
you play with the Dee Dee action figure. Okay.
I need to make one of those as a prison guard. That would be awesome.
See, Dee Dee, he's kind
good luck
of,
with-
you know, I'm not sure if you should be talking to Ed so much. Yep, I really don't know you anymore, Dee Dee.
Yep, Zenny likes that idea. Hey, Cece.
See?
I feel like I've been watching streams for days.
Yeah, you know, if you were here earlier, Jeremy said Whip is going to go for a 24-hour stream.
And Jeremy is full of crap. Look, his eyes are brown.
Jeremy, what is your favorite food to eat?
You say me?
Hey, Melvin.
If you could go anywhere right now to get something to eat, what would it be?
I don't know. I mean, usually my
Really?
favorite food is something that somebody else makes for me. So
Aw, Dee Dee, you could do that.
Dee Dee. All right, volunteering Dee Dee already.
Pimping out Dee Dee.
probably Xiao Mai. So my wife is Chinese, and there's a thing called Xiao Mai. It's like a dumpling, but it's larger, and it basically has like spiced pork or chicken in it with vegetables. I'm definitely known for killing a whole bunch of Xiao Mai. That's like that, and the other thing that she always teases me about is how much I love. They have a thing where it's like some sort of a spiced cucumber sliced up and everything in this red sauce. I'll destroy she'll make a container full of that, and it's meant to be like a family dish, and I'll just destroy that thing. So she knows not to make that. If she makes it, I'm going to destroy it. It doesn't matter. She's got to hide it. If she wants it for anyone else, she's got to hide that shit. So I forget what it's called. But the Xiao Mai or that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I'd be a lot thinner if I was married to.
Oh my God! Like
I
when her
can't eat that.
parents. You know what's crazy? Most people they don't like the mother-in-law, father-in-law kind of thing. Her parents were awesome when they were here. They'd get up super early and they like chop up all this stuff. They prepare all the ingredients for like the day, and they just cook food all day long. And I would just roll through the kitchen, and her mom would just, hey, eat this. I'm like, okay. But the food is awesome because I would eat like a crap load of food and I would lose weight. I mean, I would stay in shape. You know what I mean? It was very good quality food. You know. It was all just meat, vegetables, and very thin sort of pastry. Not a pastry, like a wrapper, like but like kind of like a rice, sort of a rice based thin wrapper kind of thing. But anyway, you can eat all you want and it tastes great. You don't gain weight, So then they leave, awesome. And I'm left to my own devices, and I put on like 15 pounds. It's like.
Yep.
I don't know where.
Well, that's cool.
Going.
Now they won't let them back in the country, which is annoying. So.
I know. Yeah. We won't get started on that.
Ed's Dee Dee doll is life size, and then Dee Dee says, "John, here we think Ed is so innocent."
I haven't made a Dee Dee yet.
And then Zenny, then she piles on and says, "John, just a pillow with her face on it."
I'll tell you what. Imagine if Dee Dee was here before the first hour of the stream. The stuff that he was talking about with the Dee Dee doll, that was pretty hardcore.
He was getting pretty perverted on that.
Yeah,
that was pretty surreal.
No, I'm just agreeing.
Hey, George.
Ed had detailed 11 different routes to get from Tennessee to North Carolina. It was nuts.
Right now, the best way is closed down.
41
is all shut down. Yeah, it took me forever to get to the aquatic experience or the aquatic expo because I had to drive through the mountains. That was no fun.
Hey, Georgie.
I was gonna say we're freaking Dee Dee out, but yeah, she worked in a fridge for 30 years. She's heard way worse than this. We're like total rookies, It's like,
oh my God, my wife is
awesome. She's awesome.
I don't think she's ever stayed up till 11:30 in her life.
Who, Dee Dee?
No, my
or
wife.
Your wife.
Yeah, I just heard the recliner come down from recline mode.
You guys have babies in your house right now?
No babies. We are just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
You and I.
We can make it if we try.
Keep that up and she might go to bed a lot quicker.
Yeah. We may lose the whole crowd here.
We lost everybody.
All of a sudden I got really tired.
Yeah.
Even my cat's eyes are shutting.
They're like, this stream really sucks compared to the auction stream.
I know that was happening stream, and now we're here
What the hell
listening
is
to these
this?
guys try to
Yeah, I'm
sing.
not giving away shit.
But Ed's giving away a free doll.
No, I'm
Recliner
not.
in recline mode doesn't necessarily mean awake. That you are accurate in that. She may not have actually been.
This is a wind down.
This is the wind down.
This is only hour and a half of the first 24 hours of his live stream.
This is your life has reached such a bottom that you think coming here is the right thing to do. Stream.
Yep.
So
Is that a big tinfoil tetra?
Hey, sleep.
Tinfoil.
Tinfoil barb? Tinfoil barb above your shoulder, Jeremy?
No, that's
No.
a Proculotus.
it's a flag-tailed Proculotus.
Yeah.
Oh, nuts.
There's nothing Asian in that tank.
That's a Orinoco peacock bass. That's a Zingu.
Yeah, 6 hours, Zenny. Whoo! And you were there that whole time. I had to cut out for a bit.
I'm not in my chair, Dee Dee.
And there's
I'm
some
laying-
sleeper barbecue.
So Doc goes to the Amazon. I bring the
That's right.
Amazon to me.
That's right. Yep. I bring it home too. I, usually have 10 to 12 boxes of fish shipped back to me of things that I caught over the summer. So,
Have you ever caught something you didn't know what it was?
oh yeah, we caught something last summer that
Jeez,
brand,
I buy from Amazon.
brand new fish. No one knows what it is, so we're still waiting on it.
Oh, that's cool. If you find out what it is, are you going to name it after yourself?
No, we'll name it after the research center.
No.
You don't name you don't. That's bad form to name something after yourself.
Yeah,
You
but
have someone
everybody
else
does
name it after you.
well, couldn't you have your student that found it name it after you?
My student
Babs.
didn't find it.
Checking in.
Who found it?
We caught it at night. We caught 3 or 4 of them, so a couple of us caught one.
So the other one of you couple name it after you.
No, but I would be on the paper that describes the fish. So
Well, that makes sense.
but you can't.
So Doc, Corey's going to like you even less because I saw in that last stream he was working on some fish that was going to be named after himself. So
Well, no, but that to have a fish named after you, that's an honor. But you would not do it yourself. You would have someone else do it. Yeah. So if I name a species in a paper,
So that
you
guy
don't
that
name it after yourself.
Inler guy,
Yeah, John Endler.
Was he the guy who discovered Inlers?
Yeah, he was the guy who.
So he named it after himself, and now
no,
one of the coolest fish
everybody-
in the world is
everybody
Inlers.
just called them Endlers, and that's just their common name. That's not their scientific name.
Yeah, it's cooler.
Yeah. No one wants to call
Poor
him
Doc.
Wayne Guy.
Hey,
Doc
pirate.
ants. Oh, you could trick it. You could trick it. You could say that you see these new fish eating ants, and so it's ant aboticus.
No,
something
it'd be
like that.
called
What's doctor
Anthasia.
in Spanish?
Doctor.
It could be Antacto Domingo.
Domingo.
and Ed, you're supposed to say "Como se dice doctor" in Spanish.
That's right. Como se dice? Doctor in Espanol.
I don't know any of that. I know what vampiro is in Spanish.
If you ever go to a Spanish-speaking country, Ed, just say "maricón" and "puta" a lot. Especially to say guys, you big guys, real big guys. You want to say that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Or say you see a girl, oh, putita, ¿cómo está?
Hey, don't do that either.
Yeah.
I just
They are
yell at a
they are
3-year-old and say, "Hey,
misleading you, Ed.
Jayhawk, get over here!
Pendeja.
Get over here!"
Yeah, when you come to Peru, Ed, don't do that. Just keep your mouth shut.
You got
Even
a
if it's in
peso.
English,
Get
just
over
don't
here!
say it.
Getting Ed hooked up.
I need some sour cream. Here's
You
a
call-
peso.
No sour cream in Peru.
Well, no peso for you.
So I think I got everybody beat because my last name is Cichlid. So I have quite a repertoire of fish named after me. So all the best ones for sure.
Yep.
Zenny, I'm going to rewatch the end of it, but how much did they end up raising? If you're still here, Zenny. Or Dee Dee.
We couldn't get Ed to Peru. Ed's too afraid. Come to Peru.
I think that's more me than Ed.
I'm really
That's
poor. It's my problem. Is I even have a
I
passport,
am
but
allergic to everything.
after I
Over
broke my back.
5K. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, we're trying to get these guys to come over to Peru sometime in the summer.
Now, Whip, you said you were going to double whatever they made, right?
Yeah. Here, let me just sell a Harley. I could probably sell one of my Harleys for 10K.
Ed can sell a kidney. Oh wait, no,
Oh,
he
no,
I
I can't.
I really suck. I can't even sell my blood anymore because I'm on blood thinners. Oh well.
Is one of you guys doing the little chime, or is that my computer making noises that it shouldn't be making?
No, and there's no chimes coming from me.
no,
Where
no.
the
No, but-
cling?
Nope.
That's all you, bro.
Oh man,
That's the vodka speaking, right? Whip.
no,
In 2
no.
minutes, I got to take the thing out of the oven.
In 2
What
minutes
thing?
or 13 minutes?
In 2 minutes.
Oh. Oh, that wasn't a countdown. That was a count up.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That way it's less confusing. My last name means a bird.
Cheka?
Nougat
Yeah.
means bird.
Nougat, yeah.
I'm trying to think what Chattanooga means. It means something, but I forgot what.
Whew.
How many inches down is the water level in that tank behind you, Ed?
I was floating at garlic, so
I remember
it's about
that.
like that, but the garlic all molded, so it's not going to work.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you if you were kind of making a raft out of the garlic if with wood, right, or whatever, like those little.
That's what my bird name is.
That's a nougat.
That's a
No,
nougat.
it's a Cheka bird. It's a Czechoslovakian bird.
So, Ed, next time you do your
I
garlic,
kind of have a, like, see, the males kind of have a neat rainbowy shoulder thing.
I feel like if Rat Cross came in right now, it would be perfect timing.
yeah,
He knows them too. He knows I'm good. I showed it to him. Dude, I will videotape just the sound of birds and send it to him, and he tells me what the bird is.
Wow.
Yeah, he is very impressive when it comes to his bird knowledge.
Zenny has you covered there at Chattanooga equals rock
And he's
coming to a
expanded
point.
into bonsai trees now, right?
Yeah. But he's done that for a long time too. He just hasn't. The channel's new, but the
Okay. His
yeah,
passion for bonsai trees goes back. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I guess so. Just based on what he's said on the actual, because I watch.
That's true. I mean, there's probably 3, 4, 5 things that I'm very experienced in, but I don't have YouTube channels about it. You know what I mean? So
he used to be into dart frog. That's when we first met, probably 20 years ago, I think.
Does he like
actually,
you?
I came on to him when he first did that collaboration with Katie Tropicals, and he was River Life back then.
Yeah.
He was doing paintings and he was doing
Hey, Christine.
river stuff. Then the koi pond.
I want to show this to John. Somebody's using his image on Amazon. Whoops.
He knows about it.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he's talked about it a few times.
Oh,
And I was like,
I
holy
guess-
crap, that's John. Oh, why
I
are you
guess-
doing that to me? I'm about
Because
to
you
leave
were-
to get my thing out of the oven. Oh, okay. You want me to show you John?
Well, yeah.
See, look.
Oh, that's the wrong John. Yeah, he knows about that. I thought you meant. Isn't that pathetic? I forgot his. What's the John here? Slickpack. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Nobody would use John's image.
No offense, though.
Well, hey, he's a good-looking guy considering he's from Kentucky.
Wow.
Man, that's brutal.
Ed's just taking that hole, man.
Yeah.
I
Ed just
Just keep digging, buddy.
Double down, triple down, motherfucker. Boom.
first it's the Dee Dee doll. Now it's John
I
from
really,
Kentucky.
after seeing his 3 daughters, I don't know if he's actually the father because they're all very lovely.
Ed, you're too old to be saying that.
What are we doing? They keep doing it. Rack used to paint. Yeah, because I think Ed has one, don't you? The ukulele. Yeah, I
I
remember.
do remember him like playing a
I
song.
have a
on it,
paint.
too.
We have a
I-
painting that he did that's in our gift
Is
shop
Rack,
in
is
Peru.
Rack in Tennessee or Kentucky?
He's here.
I think
He's right. He's right below
right on the
Bristol.
border.
He's in Johnson,
Yeah.
Johnson City, Tennessee. It's right
Oh,
on the other
that's-
side of Bristol.
Yeah, it's right next
Virginia?
to Virginia line. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And the
Even-
best seafood restaurant in Tennessee is in his town.
Selectback says I don't even try to use my image.
I'm just teasing. John's a good-looking guy.
Ed,
When
take
I
your
was a kid, we had a cat. My dad owned a cabin that was just across the Virginia line into Tennessee, not in Johnson, but somewhere in the mountains there. That we used to go to.
Ed, take your stuff out of the oven.
Yeah, go get
Thank
it.
you.
He said he was going to 5 minutes ago.
He had other things, more important things to do, like talk.
I
to
gotta
us.
click a button. I'll be back in a minute.
All right, we'll be here
Go click.
for another 18 minutes, and then my 24-hour live streaming is over.
We should
We're
try
going all
to.
night, baby. We're going all night.
We should try that. Try, to go as long as we can on someone's stream once.
Yeah, not on a day that I woke up at 4:00 in the morning though.
Yeah. No. What do I care? I'm retired. I can do it anytime. So me and Ed could go.
Yeah, you could take turns. Like one could kind of drift a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
and then-
Yeah, give us like a 2-hour nap and come back and Norfolk Southern Ponds. Howdy doody. I remember I had to do a 24-hour egg sampling for the fish that I was doing when I was working in the Middle East. Oh, the first 16 hours it's okay, but after that it was hard. Trying to go to sleep for 2 hours and waking up. Trying to go to sleep for 2 hours and waking up. That was miserable.
Nancy, I got impatient. I went like almost 4 hours on that auction, and people kept outbidding me, and I got frustrated, so I came here. And I just sent Foxy and Pep money instead.
I told Whip to give me at least a 20-minute heads up before he starts his stream tonight, and he gave me like a 2-minute.
No, that's untrue. I can show you the text. I said he's
Well-
back now, and then whenever you're ready, and then
Well, we
At
hung
least
out
20
for
minutes
like
went
an
by before I
hour,
said, "Are
it
you
seemed
ready?"
like, before we went live.
40 minutes, I think. Yeah. I waited for a while. We were waiting.
Yep.
That
you're a
auction
good
just
guy.
took a long time. Yeah. A lot of you did. I mean, am I locked up again? No.
No.
Wonder what Nancy got.
Everybody was frozen there, but they're not frozen. Yeah, I mean, early on, the money that was being dropped, I'm like, good Lord, I'm in the wrong auction because I can't afford anything here tonight.
I'm holding Nancy's body in my hand right now. I'm gonna pop her head
Oh.
off that I'm not gonna use.
That's not a man, Ed. That's not a
This
good.
is the head, Nancy, that your body is not gonna use.
But it kind of looks like her though. Look at that picture. Just put sunglasses on it. Got the
Yeah.
brown hair.
Nancy doesn't have black lipstick.
Well, you could change the lips very
Yeah,
easily.
you're an artist.
Yeah, not creepy at all. That's for sure.
But I don't want to show her the body until I paint it.
Zenny was with me. She says, "Oh my God, I wanted to bid and thought about it and like 3 different times, and then by the time I debated, the bids were so high there was no way I could be in anymore." Yeah, that was me too. Like I put in a bid for $45. I'm like, ooh, that's kind of high, but I'll give it a shot. Next thing I know, it's 125. I'm like, all right, bring on the next one.
I was kind of jealous of the auction. You know, I can barely raise $1,000 when I do my auction for the kids.
Maybe you should get married instead of have a bunch
Yeah.
of kids.
No, these are poor kids. You know, not people getting married.
I wish I was a kid again.
So you can get your little toys.
Yeah, man, if I could do it all over again, all my toys I would have just kept in the closet
I know
and never touched them.
all my Matchbox cars that I had that
Yeah.
I just ruined, and my
Star
GI
Wars
Joes that I
figures, yeah.
ruined.
Now, you see, I was very gentle with my GI Joes. I really didn't ruin any of them, but I stopped when my 6th grade was my last year at GI Joe, so that was like 97, and then I started playing football in high school and all, or junior high and all that. Not high school, junior high. And one day I came home, and this is like in 1991. My little brother, he's 8 years younger than me, was in the sewing room. I come home from 2-a-days. You know, that's really hard football. And he's got pliers and he's got my GI Joes and he's going chop, 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 just chopping them up from their wrists all the way up to their bodies. And I was just sick.
We would take firecrackers and blow ours up.
Well, that's better than, at least there's an explosion. Pliers, man. Oh, it made me sick. And when I turned 50, I was like, you know what? I don't care what people say about me. I'm going to start collecting toys again. Screw it. And I'm going to have fun.
Right.
So is your brother a serial killer now, Ed?
No, he's actually a really good guy now.
I thought I was rich because I had all the vintage 70s Star Wars toys, And I remember going back down to my parents' house, flying in from Texas. And I was like, hey, where's all those Star Wars toys I had? It's like, oh, we gave them to your cousin. Called up my cousin. Hey, where's all those Star Wars toys? Oh, gave them to my, my son's kid. And I'm just like, all right, never mind. They're done.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
done.
I did the same thing for my Star Wars toys, but I knew my brother never had a hold of them because I packaged them up, when I got into G.I. Joe. Well, my sister gave them all to her boys. So I finally wrangled them down, and I have the Millennium Falcon, just the big frame. Every piece that can come off has come off it. It's just
The
a
only thing
rabbit.
that left was I had a soldier thing called Navarone. It was like a big mountain fortress. It was like World War II plastic little army soldiers.
Yeah, the gray thing.
But,
the Guns of Navarone.
Yeah,
I was just going to say the Guns of Navarone. Yeah.
But the internet didn't seem to covet that the way they did the action figures. So.
Well, my mom would not let me get that. She said, we're going to make one out of paper mache.
So Geek Boy says, how do you know that Nancy doesn't wear black lipstick? And then Ben says, Ed is playing with Nancy's body. And then Nancy says, that sounds even creepier from the next room.
I've met Nancy in real life a couple times. And she's never worn black lipstick. Or if she did, I'm sorry, and I didn't notice. I don't think she had black lipstick because I think that'd be something I would definitely notice on somebody.
If Ed was a kid again, would he like himself?
Well, of course.
In the biblical sense?
I don't know.
Even
Ask Dee Dee. I'm not sure where the question was coming from.
I'm happy with myself now. I've never been disappointed with myself. I mean, look at how many people can say that they have a cat as cool as this. That just proves that I'm cool.
Ah, that's why. Because Dee Dee says you usually don't like kids.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, yes.
See, it comes together.
Yeah.
It just,
You know
just need a little
where all that
backstory.
kid stuff came from? All the kid stuff came from when YouTube said that you had to say you were adult only content or
Yeah.
you lost tap. That's where I started saying I hated kids. That's where that all came from. I'm actually a really cool uncle. And
If he does say so
I was
himself.
very good to my brother. Even I shouldn't have been so nice to my brother.
So Nancy says, my little sister chewed my Barbie's feet and hands and cut their hair. I should have been an only child. So she feels your pain.
Yeah, my brother chewed my Greedo's head all up. But he
Greedo.
kind of looked cool. He kind of looked like I used to pretend like Solo shot him in the head instead.
Isn't that Guido? Not Greedo, but Guido?
Yeah, Greedo.
Greedo.
Okay.
Don't make
With an
fun
R.
of my accent. I'm from a land far away in a different time.
I can definitely relate with Select Bet. When I was a kid, there was a thing called Aquanet, and it was this hairspray, but
Yeah.
you spray it was like a flamethrower.
Yeah.
We
Came
used
in
to set up, yeah,
a
like
pink
set
bottle,
up like
a pink aerosol bottle. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
we used to like my next door neighbor. He was like my age, and his sister was a little older. We would steal her Aquanet and use it to like flamethrower like little like toy soldiers, and like they would just melt. You know? Like, or we one time we took it to school in a backpack, and right before recess, where everyone would come running out to the back like playground, we took the Aquanet and we just sprayed it on the ground back and forth like this, right in front of. So they opened the door, we lit it on fire, and it just sat there and burned like a wall of fire. It's like we were in elementary school. All these like fifth graders are running out like, wall of fire.
Now they would throw you in jail as a kid for doing that.
Yeah.
The teachers were all like, it was like meltdown. It was hilarious.
My brother used to lay his G.I. Joes on top of my Barbie dolls and then left them unattended.
Well, that's how you got more Barbie dolls.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Back then, the teacher comes out and just smacks inside the head like, you dumb knucklehead. You know, it's like, but nowadays, yeah, it'd probably be like some sort of like terrorist event or something.
Yep.
My sister used to steal my Steve Austin doll all the time because she wanted him to be married to her Barbies. You could look through his head, through his eye, remember?
Yep.
And you could roll up his skin on his right hand or right arm and see his electrodes in his arms. Yeah.
Zenny says use acetone or nail polish remover and take the doll's lipstick off and then draw it back on with a marker of your choosing.
Like this?
There it is. He's on it.
I have a different head for her. I'll go get her other head.
All right, we'll wait here.
Yeah, it can't sit still. You know, it's
June says
understandable.
9-inch dolls are my
Nico,
favorite.
this is your chance. Spill
That's right.
the beans on Ed.
Yeah.
What does he do to you, Nico? Tell us.
No,
He
Don't
can't
walk
hear us.
away.
He
At
doesn't
least
have
when Jeremy
he doesn't
goes,
have headphones.
he brings back beer or
can't
something.
hear us,
Ed brings
yes.
back doll heads.
He's like, oh, the things I could tell you, but I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I'm just a cat
Big sexy, what's going on, buddy?
with no headphones.
I've been here for a long time. What do you mean?
Did you have to collect tidbits of information over the years of watching live streams? You have to collect. Hi, Whippy Whippy. It's so bad at reading. You have to collect tidbits of information over years of watching live streams. Now I don't know what she was referring to, but at least I got what she wrote.
She's basically saying your live stream sucks. You need to pay attention to what good people do.
Yeah,
and
yeah, right.
emulate.
I
Something
came
like
home from school and my mom gave away my Barbie collection. I had everything Barbie. That's just mean.
See, I was the youngest kid, so I had a bunch of nephews, and as soon as I went to college, all my shit disappeared at my parents' house. My skateboards, my everything just was gone. They just raided my room.
Yeah, that's how you got big hair, men and women alike,
Okay.
back in the
Well,
80s.
do you like this head? We're going to let Nancy be the first person to pick her own head. You have this head, and we'll do a complete hairstyle.
How many head options are there, Ed?
I'm giving her two head options.
Big Steve.
This is the head I was going to go with.
Let me see.
Well, the hair makes more sense.
That's what I thought. We'll have
I
to
feel
sneeze.
like not knowing anything about physically Nancy, I feel like the first Nancy was the.
Yeah, that's what it kind of in her photo on her.
Yeah, the
thing,
first head sort of
the
seemed
first
more
head
like
looks more like
the tiny little circle icon.
Yep.
Geeker, don't make me sick Zenny after you there, pal.
Does Nancy actually prefer this head?
She doesn't. She said she doesn't prefer head.
Hey, now.
Hey now.
See, that's what I thought, Nancy. Unfortunately, I can't rip faces off of and swap faces.
Can't you pull the hair off?
Not like the
No.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Good.
Take an X-Acto knife and
This
cut it
might
off.
be Dr. Anthony's new face.
She says the first one looks extra angry.
The first one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first one. She said, "Yeah,
Nancy's
the
gonna-
hair on the second one is more like real." I don't know if that looks angry. Just judgmental.
Now, eventually, I'm going to be able to make these all with 3D printers, and because right now I only have probably 35, 40 heads to pick from.
I'm
And
just
not
happy
very
it's
many
not trying to
girls.
make it a head that looks like me. It's
Ed, how long have you had that 3D printer, and when are you going to open it up to start looking at it?
Oh, I've opened it up, and it's really tricky. I've been like, because I think I want to go too advanced too fast. But
actually, Doc, speaking of that, Ed's got a package he's sending your way. So sometime in 2020, 2032, take
Yeah,
a
we'll get there. Yep.
We don't want to sit out on the front porch and
Yep.
overheat.
She likes the second one better. She said that first head looks like it wants to speak to your manager.
I think nowadays you can just say Karen, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Very Karen-y.
Do you have a
Yeah.
YouTube channel? Who's she talking to? Who?
We're on it
YouTube?
right now.
Yeah, Babs, who are we talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel. It's called Chattanooga Ed. If you could please subscribe, I'd really appreciate it.
All four of us have them.
Don't subscribe. Ed just does a bunch of reused content.
That's right.
Yeah. Jeremy is the big dog in the room, and then
That's right.
then Ed, and then I don't know if Doctor or I have more. Are you over 1,000 yet, Doctor?
Yeah, I think I have a 1,200.
Yeah, so I'm the little dog in the room.
But I'm going to be starting a new channel in the fall. My own, have the research center have their own, and then me have my own.
This head looks really good on this body. It fits perfect.
That's what she said, Ed.
Zenny is picking up a quote saying, "Only have 35 to 40 heads to pick from." And
Yep.
Big Sexy kind of followed that up. Same thought process.
I could show you guys Zen's head.
Better look like that punk card we saw earlier.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard to beat. What? You look awesome. You stand
Yeah, what are you
Come
talking about? You
on.
don't need no sleep.
Gee.
That's a load of crap.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
wants to leave because we're boring him.
You know, some people have to work. What's
On a
that?
Sunday, nobody has to work on
What's
a
that?
Sunday.
Work. You know. Well, I guess she was talking about Steve. If he had a channel. Yeah, does Ed have an action figure of himself? Does he make a Chattanooga Ed one?
He did.
Oh, okay. That was his first one.
It was probably his first one.
You know,
His
Daniel,
actually looks pretty good too.
I should do a short on eating guinea pigs because they're really good. Good.
Yeah, that's a good question though, Doc. What's your new channel gonna be called? Doc Awesome.
It's actually going to be called Doc Awesome's Fish Talk. So I actually I have it already, but I just haven't posted anything to it.
Or is it going to be, hi, I'm Doc Awesome. Nobody likes me.
And I like no one. Because I think I'm smarter than everybody else, right, Whip?
Feeling is mutual.
What Big Steve here say? I don't even know what that is.
Reality K1C. It's a printer, 3D printer.
Okay, all
It's
right.
a brand
Okay.
of 3D printers. You know.
It's pretty much a plug and play. I don't know how to design stuff, but printing other people's files is easy peasy.
Yeah, I bought my son a 3D printer for Christmas, and I was looking at the Quality and then the Bamboo Labs. What's the other one?
Yeah, my buddy just, I don't know when he got it, but I just found out he had it, and I'm like, hey, speaking of that, we were talking, because I've asked like 13 people, Geek being one of them, but I never got them the measurements. They're back in the day, Tetra made these hang on the back trays. You know, they're about yo big, and they would hold your air pump or whatever, but I use
Yeah.
them for air
Yep.
pumps. And
Yep.
apparently they were not a big seller because they quit making them. And I'm like, I use them all the time. I mean, that is, you know, like it keeps them up high enough where they don't drain the tank necessarily, and then they're out of they're not sitting on top of the tank. They're kind of out of sight, out of mind.
There's a website called Thingiverse that has just an absolute ton of, I guess, what are printing diagrams that you can download to print like all these different things.
What's it called?
Thingiverse.
Thingiverse. Okay. Have to look that up.
There's an aquarium section or aquatics, whatever. There's just everything. I mean, it's like got a massive amount of I don't know if schematics the right word for it, but you know, designs.
Okay. I'm right on it.
June says that she knows what I'm talking about. She's got them. They're very old. Yeah, that means mine are too. Mine are probably 30 years old because I haven't been able to find anything new.
Yeah, I had some. I had one on my
Night,
big
Dee Dee.
500-gallon corner tank that I had when we were in California.
Night, Dee Dee.
Good night,
Wait,
there,
TD, do you want to see what
kid.
Zen looks like?
Yes.
Man, that's a mean looking Zen.
Zen doesn't mess around. I'm going to make her hair a little more red.
So you,
Zen's not a doll; she's an action figure.
They're all action figures. I don't do dolls.
that looks more like a Mandy than a Zen.
Well, wait till you see her body. You won't think that.
Okay.
Hey now.
Yeah.
I am so sorry, Zenny.
That's what happens then when you put yourself out there on the internet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
John says I tried printing those hang on the back trays. Took me five tries, and finally got one that wasn't a pile of stink,
String.
a pile of string.
You know what's crazy is so my wife has an Airbnb down in Washington D.C. and when we got the printer, she went through on Thingiverse and she found a whole bunch of things she could print that were representative of DC, like monuments and panda for the zoo and stuff like that. And she put it in a little like churro case in the Airbnb, and the people who are visiting can buy them, for whatever it is, some small amount of money. And I'm thinking like, she's like, "What do you think?" I was like, "I don't know." It's like I wouldn't do it, so I'm just thinking like, I mean, I wouldn't buy it, so I'm thinking it's nothing, but it keeps selling out all the time. She has to keep reprinting these things and putting them in this Kiro case.
Look at how much taller Zen is
Kiro.
than Nancy B.
Oh,
My wife has a similar hair color.
I'm pretty sure that's the opposite of what it is in real life. If I remember right, and that's always questionable.
I'm willing to bet that I'm more on.
I think Zenny said she isn't particularly blessed in the height department.
I think Zen is like 6'2".
Ed loves making the bodies.
And I've met Nancy, and she's about 5'8".
So Dee Dee says, "Dang, Zen is hot."
Hey now.
I think Zen is kind of tall.
Yep.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I mixed up my.
Kind of tall, not blessed in the height. I'm getting conflicting reports here. There you
Almost
go.
5'8".
5'8" pretty
Yeah,
tall.
you're not
See,
short.
I just said that. I just said 5'8".
No, you said that about Nancy.
Oh, no, I think Nancy's 5'2". I hope I didn't just offend you, Nancy.
My wife's 5'6" and she thinks she's tall, so 5'8's even taller.
June's sticking with doll.
Yeah, Ed plays with dolls. Me too. That's what I think they are. They're dolls. At least mine
Dee Dee isn't particularly
is a doll. I'll call my figurine a doll.
5'4" or 5'5".
Yeah, I was gonna say 5'4", 5'5", somewhere in there. Nancy's 5'6", so I had them reversed in my head.
Oh,
sorry.
Nuts. I'm sorry, Nancy. It seemed like I was looking downwards when I was talking to her.
But you look down upon everybody. That's your problem.
Not at Whip.
Actually, that last...
Dee Dee said she's 5'12".
Did you have a back surgery or something?
Oh, yeah, I've had major back surgeries. And my back is like falling apart right now. It kind of sucks.
The very first class I went to, Ed was probably like 3 inches taller than me. And the last class, he was like 1.5 inches taller than me. So
I used to be 6'2", and now I'm like 6'1". So
okay,
I've lost about an inch.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot. I thought you were more like 6'3", and now you seem like just a little taller. So yeah, you definitely
I lost
something changed. Yeah,
and my back is still falling apart. It really sucks.
So Zenny says, "Isn't Kelly even taller?" I have met
Kelly is
Kelly,
5'11".
I just don't think she's that
Kelly's
tall.
just a little bit shorter than I am. So
You think?
I
know
think
she's
I asked
talked about
Kelly.
it.
I think I asked Kelly when she was here. I was hanging out with her and Nancy B together
at the same time
in Tennessee at the Tennessee Aquarium.
Kelly who?
Foreman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's 5'10" or 5'11", something like that.
And I bet Jake is 5'8". And I felt so bad because they asked if they could borrow a jacket. And I'm like, I don't have a jacket in my truck. I got a poncho. And they're like, no, I don't want to wear a poncho. And then I said, well, I can just drive you to the hotel afterwards. And I did. had my jacket in the back seat. I forgot because I used it to like hold fish bags from tipping over, and I needed something to put in the back seat of my car. I haven't used that jacket since I lived in Missouri. So that's why I used it just to hold bags so they wouldn't fall on the floor. I can't believe that.
So,
So
you
I'm a
know,
liar.
for this year's Clash, I had a
Kelly
stream
is Kelly is tall. My face lines up with her boobies.
you know.
Hey.
I caught I had a stream recommended to me that I wasn't familiar with, and I was listening to it while I was working on my tanks, and they were talking about going to the Clash, and they said that the main hotel is completely filled up for the Clash, and they recommended an overflow hotel, and the overflow hotel told them that there was only 15 rooms left, and the over hotel room was 15 miles from the Clash hotel. So,
So it's probably in reading.
so I think I'm just thinking like this year is going to be,
It's gonna be big.
bang,
Yeah.
it's going to be a banger year. Yeah.
Well, then, if I decide to go, I'll be sleeping on the streets. And
I'll tell you what, Doc. I'll let you sleep in Whip's room.
I'll sleep in the back of a skipper's truck.
There you go.
I'll bring a sleeping bag with me.
Oh shit! I'll drive an SUV. You can sleep in there. Climb.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
We'll fold the seats down. You know.
Okay.
See, that sounds more right to me. Nancy says I thought she said she was 5'8", and but maybe she's taller than that. I
Kelly
don't know.
Foreman's pretty tall.
Look at how much bigger
I
Zen's
think
feet
she's
are.
5'10" would be my
Look
guess.
at how much bigger Zen's feet are than Nancy's.
You know what they say about women with big feet?
Yeah,
They
got
wear
big
big
shoes.
shoes.
Mary is only 5 foot tall. She's a tiny one. Is Annette the taller one? I don't think so. Annette's not exactly tall either.
No, she's not very tall at all. That's Mr. Shell Guardian, right? Annette?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
she's
she's
like
short.
5'5", 5'6", something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, she's not tall at all.
Probably like 5'5". Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's as mean as a bulldog.
No, Kelly Foreman is more like 5'10", and
Don't mess with a net.
trying to think. I don't really remember. Probably the closest to Kelly's height would be Mrs. Metalhead, Jessica. She's maybe 5'8", 5'9", something like that. You know.
Yeah, she's tall. Yep.
Yeah, that's the next closest person, the next closest woman that I can think of there.
She plays football and softball or baseball with us.
Fantasy though, right?
Yeah.
Not.
Nancy, I was so close to coming down there that weekend with you guys. I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. I don't remember what exactly happened. I
It
think I
was
was
New
sick.
Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve too.
Yes,
That
I was
probably
sick.
tough.
That's what happened. Because I didn't get to celebrate New Year's Day or Eve or any of that stuff. We were both Crystal and I were out on our feet, basically.
His crystal, not my crystal.
Yeah. Maybe your Crystal, but just not here.
I think she was feeling better at that time, but then she got sick after New Year's.
Yeah, because I mean she's been ill for a while.
So yeah,
now.
you're saying Winky's not her God-given name there? Ed?
No, it is not.
It's
Oh.
not actually. It's
Confusing.
really Crystal.
Wow.
And I think it's a lovely name. My mom
You're
refuses
not going to trick
say
me, Dee Dee.
oinky.
You're not tricking me.
My mom
I'm
will
not
not
saying
say oinky.
You won't say oinky, huh?
Sharks
No,
are good.
She thinks it's very offensive that I say oinky.
Went through that comment too fast. I couldn't see the name.
Which one?
I don't know. Someone asked about the Sharks, but I couldn't see the name. It was like
What? I went by too fast, too quick, too early.
yeah. I saw Jeremy, and then I went to look up to see the name, and it was too fast.
I don't see nothing. Oh, right there. It was the very.
Well,
That was
Mary.
Mary.
They are absolutely settled in the new home, and they are pumping out the shark eggs again, left and right. So
And knocking
Wow, that's
over
awesome.
his
His
work
heart
on
state. Yep.
on his
These
hard sleeve all the
mermaid.
time.
Oh,
Saddle.
this is the
Mermaid.
problem is what it looks like when sharks lay eggs is they do their thing and then the female goes and wraps the shark egg around rocks, right? And she just smashes her body into it and then she lays so she basically knocks out a bunch of rocks, lays an egg. Knocks down a bunch of other rocks, lays an egg, so it's basically just destruction, But and I retrieve the eggs in water, I candle them, I see little squiggly things, I move them to the estuary, and I presume in 3 months I will have baby bamboos. So we'll see.
Now, do the male sharks do like great white sharks and they bite the girls a whole bunch?
The way they work is the male shark comes up, he bites her pectoral fin, he pulls on, yanks on her, pulls up to the top, brings her down, gets her in some sort of a state. Then they kind of do this, and then he hauls off, and then she later on lays the egg. And
Hey, Bootsy.
So it's semi-rapey. The
Well,
worst
almost the entire
Yeah.
animal kingdom is pretty rapey.
yeah, he appears to be fairly on the aggressive side with his mannerisms. But
Yeah.
crayfish are the most rapey of the rapists.
I
Dee Dee
do what
says Annette
sharks
is
do,
way
yeah.
taller than her. But Dee Dee, you're like, well, you can't. You're a tiny person.
yeah, Dee Dee's probably 5'2", 5'3".
Winky is a little dainty person.
So is Winky. Yes,
Rachel's taller. She's very tall.
Rachel.
Bootsy
Bootsy. Yeah, I just watched a Rachel O'Leary, so my brain didn't go.
Yeah, I saw that
Bootsy?
video she just put out where she was she down to 6 tanks? She said something like that.
Yeah, 6 to 8. I think
Yeah.
she said she has 8, but they're not all
They don't
operating.
have fish in them or anything.
Yeah.
I'll take credit for all that. For Rachel
will.
coming back.
Have you been bugging her?
No, because about a month ago, I asked her if she'd be willing to speak at Fishtoberfest, and she said, well, she really hasn't been doing much aquarium stuff anymore. And then next week she had a brand new video on her aquarium. So I don't know if I did it, but I'll
You
take
spoke
credit
it into
for it.
reality.
Yeah.
Do you know who's one of her best friends in real life?
Ed Nuga.
No. She thinks I'm cool, but I don't think she thinks it very highly. Well, she just thinks of me as a person. But John Peck is one of her best buddies. They're like good buddies.
Okay.
That's right, Nancy. You're right. It was the COVID thing that we had, and then Crystal at the time, they had been jacking her around with her vacation time, and she only had
No.
2 days left. Because a new company had bought the company she works for, and they took at least a week away from her, from what she had accrued, to this point in her career. They just came in and said, "No, you've got too much." So they took it away, and they ended up giving it back to her. But it was not until well after. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway because we were all sick.
Well, Nancy, didn't we all get sick after that trip? Like the week after? I bet you we went to that good hamburger joint and somebody had the COVID back there and spit in all of our food or something.
Probably sneezed on it all.
Because there was all those cops in there. There was like the table next to us had like 16 cops there. And maybe they figured they just cough in everybody's food, hoping they'd get the cops being jerks.
In response to Select Pet, I mean, like, Oinky's physical appearance is the complete opposite of a pig. So it doesn't really,
Yeah.
I mean.
And she refers to herself as Oinky. So,
But I mean, she's a petite little girl. She's nothing. There's nothing porky about her whatsoever.
Right.
So.
And she was a ballerina.
Was she?
I won't touch that one. I'll be respectable.
Doctor and I, we're a long ways apart from education, but I still know what he's talking about from time to time.
We're on the
same page there. Sharks are aggressive. Who could have guessed that?
If anybody here knows about 3D printing now, and could walk me through on how to print like just a dog or a cat or a cowboy hat or something, just
Yeah.
a basic thing.
Well, if you were here earlier, Jeremy gave a website you could go to that has all that stuff on it.
What?
Oinky isn't as big as a hot
It's
second.
a thing of verse.
No, thing Everse, iVerse.
Oh, thing. Okay.
Ariad, I'll post it for you.
Let me see if
Yeah, actually, Jenny did it a
Yeah,
while back.
yeah. So here you go, Ed. If it'll let me post. So
It definitely works because I've seen my wife and son print all kinds of crap out of it. So.
yeah. So Ed, I posted it for you, and that.
okay, I have Thingiverse as one of my ones to look up.
Yep.
These are all ones that people have suggested to me in the
And
past.
Jeremy likes
Well,
Bamboo Lab.
Labs is the name of a 3D printer. Because I bought my son a Bamboo Labs printer for Christmas. So
Yeah, they have hardware and software. Bamboo Labs is the one that will take 2D pictures and turn them into 3D prints. So that's the one that I really need to learn eventually to be able to make people's faces.
So the pipeline my son uses is got the Bamboo Labs printer. He's got an app on his phone for it. He hooked it up to Thingiverse. He downloads the schematic or whatever, sends it to the printer via his phone, and it prints it out.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like that.
Oh my God.
The if you're not designing the actual print schematic, I don't even know what they call it, but that is probably the thing that's the effort, right? But if you just want to use one that exists already, you're
Yeah, it
just
does a
sending it to the printer.
It has like, it can figure out what your haircut is from the back by just general what other, they probably have like 1,000 in there, or 5 or 50 or whatever backs of heads. So like if a girl has long stringy hair here, then it knows to have long hair in the back. If it's like a
Yeah,
afro, it knows how to make an afro in the back. So because it used to be you had to take like 35 shots or something all the way around, but now you just can take just the front shot and it'll generate what it thinks at the back, and that's all I need for action figures. I
Or
don't
what
care
if
what
they
the
have
back
a
of their head
mohawk or a tail in the back that you don't know about?
rat
is.
tail.
That won't be on there,
Yeah.
but I can make that with clay.
I have a 6-inch rat tail no one knows about.
Can he not just make his own head shapes on Tinkercad?
Tinkercad.
Well, the thing is I want them to look really good. I want them to look like real people.
So is a man with a rat tail pretty much like kryptonite for women?
So I need to put a rat tail on the back of
No, look at that cone head. That's not even me with that cone head.
Yeah, you gotta grind that
Wait,
down a little bit.
Is that Dr. A?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
It's a
With a
splitting
cone
image
head.
of him. Yeah.
See? It looks just like him.
Yeah,
Up my eyebrows. Gotta get my eyebrows up like him, though.
Well, when you just say cheese. Say cheese, Dr. Anthony.
That's amazing, Ed. I mean,
See?
that is pretty much 100% spot on.
Thank you. Well, have you seen my whip? My whip is really good.
Dee Dee wants to know, does head size matter?
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Only
I've
if you're
never
wearing
had
a hat.
It's not about the height like width, it's about the girth like
That's
AquariumDomain.
right.
You know? That's what
So he needs to put a baseball cap on me or something, to hide that cone head, because there's no cone head on this. This is nice and smooth. There's no coney.
This is my whip.
There I is.
Eh,
Yeah, but that's brown. You need to gray it a little bit more.
Yeah,
Well,
because
this
of
is when
grazer.
whip was young and vibrant.
Oh,
And I wore bandanas apparently.
that's right.
There's
That's
Ed.
Ed Nuga.
and what were those sunglasses called? Like razors or predators or something like
Yeah, that sounds about right.
that
The old
wraparound
razor.
thing.
Yeah.
Young and
Have you
vibrant.
seen my whip? You should only
Here's
ask Oinky
Big
things
Steve.
like.
Hey,
There's
Whip,
Big
can you
Steve.
pull up that? Can you pull up the cartoon whip that I made of you?
Maybe.
My Dennis is my favorite.
Your
How
dentist?
did you get that to me? Do you remember
Oh.
how you sent that to me?
I thought you said
Do you
your
remember
dentist.
Dennis?
Your dentist.
I think I texted to you, right? Whip?
Yeah.
I think this is a really good Dennis.
That's your dentist, Ed?
That's what I thought you said too.
Like, I probably, if he wasn't wearing a big trench coat, I could have, I guess, put a cast on his hip. But that's Dennis.
Dennis.
And look, he has a silencer.
Oh, you're talking about Dennis.
Clash.
Dennis who broke his hip last Clash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He broke it at Clash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After
During the
almost
auction.
everybody left. Yeah.
Oy, chingado.
Yeah, sorry. At first, I thought he said dentist.
That's what I thought you said too. His dentist.
And
Yeah.
here's Scuba Steve.
Looks just like him.
Yep. He's got a real neat background story.
Skeletor. Look like Skeletor in there.
Yeah, I like how I did that. I made him look radioactive.
You just need somebody to. Well, I don't. I won't say it from the list.
Let's see. Who else do I have here?
There
A
we
lot
go.
of my guys are in the other room.
That was my take on Whip right there. That's my cartoon Whip that I made for him.
Oh, nice. He looks
well-
really tougher, though.
In your opening.
I guess I have a high opinion of Whip. He's like a tough young Whip, you know.
Oh, my God. Did I already lose his hat?
Man,
Sarah the
already?
Great. Hey, girl. I haven't seen
Yeah,
you in a hot minute. Where you
I
been?
guess in Australia we should be saying good morning. Or what is
Oh,
it?
yeah, probably. No, they're probably
That's
far
Skipper.
enough ahead. They're probably going to bed.
That's
Oh, yeah,
Skipper.
wait.
Yep. See, he's got the rubber gloves on because he's doesn't want to get blood when he's on his hands when he's transporting people in the ambulance.
Okay. But why a suit? I mean, we never see never see Skipper in a suit.
Well, we're
Because
all in suits.
It's the guys. We're all in suits. This is
I was
and
gonna
where's
say.
Rico?
I'd put my money on the fact that Skipper does not own a suit. You know,
Yeah.
I'll go get Rico.
I love me some Skipper. Don't get me wrong, but I mean,
She says it's afternoon there, so everybody was wrong.
in fact, Skipper is the only fish fan who's ever come to visit me.
And
I look like
in
that
that
teacher from
same
Beavis and Butthead.
in that same vein, Skipper is the only one from Fish Fam who visited me as well.
That's true.
He ain't
Skipper's a
never
good-
visited
good
me.
man.
Here's my Rico.
Skipper's suit is flannel.
Yeah.
Rico looks like Saint Nick.
Yep. Thank you. That's what with brass knuckles.
I saw a really tall guy with Whip's hair.
There's
A
my
fuzzy
killer
co-
kitty.
Oh, yeah. You sent me a picture of that.
Killer Kitty is in her outfit for selling at Lowe's. I haven't wrote Lowe's on the back yet. And those are just the ones I have done. I'm halfway done with a
Why would he want to?
TJ Autocross.
That I'd like to see.
Zen. Nancy's gonna be on the way. Shady Grady.
What about Jeremy? You can do it, Jeremy.
Mr. Zen. I haven't figured out Jeremy yet.
I'm the
It
same
takes-
as TJ Autocross, random white guy with brown hair. How do you make that into an action figure?
Well, yeah, but you are built like a truck. TJ is built more like a bicycle.
I mean, we're different size, but we're still the same white guy with brown hair, right? I mean, it's like just
Well,
different sizes.
But he is the Tennessee Fish Mafia's driver.
Say who?
So he's our driver. So I have him dressed in a race car outfit.
Oh, what from his Porsche?
He races. Yeah, he races
Yeah.
Porsches for real. And so he's going to be our driver.
Okay.
So Nancy had a doppelganger look-alike just the other day in Nashville, where she saw me walking around with a fuzzy coat, and then at the Aquashella, was it Aquashella? She just names it as a fish convention. Got halfway through a meal before I was convinced it wasn't really me.
She
Well,
thought that she saw
Whip
herself.
Nancy,
No,
Whip
me.
called me and he said somebody almost found him out when he was in Nashville. So was.
He was trying to be
I had to get the
incognito.
hell out of there.
He's like, I don't like meeting people in the wild, So
We're
Whip is.
we're going to be in Tennessee this Friday, Saturday for about 15 minutes, and then dropping off some stuff, and then racing back home. So you
Oh,
might
I
see
might.
me next weekend.
Hey, Whip, is the property
I
next
might
to
be
your
in St.
property
Louis.
for sale still, or is it already purchased?
No, it's not officially for sale, but he is listening to offers.
Any idea what the range is?
I don't really know what he's want. I know I bought mine for 36, and he's turning down offers of over 70, and the price, like if I'm here, the one I was trying to buy is here. There's another one here, and then the fourth one is they're asking 250 grand for it.
For just the lot?
Yeah, because
Wow.
there's rumors that they're going to put in a big resort on the like 177 acres that is in the valley below us.
And has your buddy already started building yet, or?
There was only one house on of all the properties. There's 7 properties on that dead end road, and only one had built, and that burned down on New Year's Day.
Burned down.
Yeah,
Was
got
at the aquarium.
yeah.
It wasn't
he
you,
was
huh?
he was had a fire chimney fire that burned his whole house down.
Was that the guy who checked up on me when I was at your lot?
Yep, same guy.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out on his lot, and he came out to see what I was doing out there. It's like, well, that's kind of nice, I guess.
Yep. Except for he's
But I
not
was like-
talking to me anymore.
I was
Not talking to you?
walking around with 5-gallon buckets and stuff. He probably didn't know what I was doing,
Yeah, what are you doing? You probably thought you were dumping them.
or making meth or something. My sister just bought land out there too on Flat Top Mountain, and she's building her house right now. I can try to find out how much land is going there too. Pretty cool. They have a wild blackberry area where black bears come in and eat the blackberries.
Oh,
So Nancy
Actually,
thinks there's a doppelganger of herself.
is Seville Steve still here?
I don't think.
Hmm. I'm thinking he's Seville, Tennessee, which is right there near Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg.
Yep.
We last summer, our family vacation, we rented a cabin down there in Gatlinburg, and we had it was a 3-story tall cabin, and on the 3rd story we came out in the morning to our dog barking, and on the 3rd story deck with a hot tub there was a bear, lounging in the hot tub.
That's
Climbed his
awesome.
way up there. And the funny thing is we have a West Highland Terrier, like 25 pounds, He went after that bear like no tomorrow, chased that thing right off that deck.
That's awesome.
So,
Well, all right, guys. I am tired.
Oh, you wimp.
Nancy has pictures of your doppelganger.
Yeah, she sent it to me, but I didn't.
No Ed of Whip. I'll send you the pic. Okay.
did
I
he
can
look
check.
like Zach Wild Whip?
It was from behind, so you see like this dude with the long hair. He got long hair, but he's got this fuzzy like 1970s pimp jacket on, like the
Oh my
big
God.
long one that goes to the floor.
It is totally Whip.
I guess it doesn't go to the
Nah,
floor.
that guy looks way too short to be Whip. Unless that's one hell of a long jacket.
Was he wearing a
That jacket goes to his
pot
calves.
on
man.
his head? Look, he's like got a spaghetti pot on his head.
He was
Go
afraid
to the bottom of that jacket. That's like at his calves.
that's an anti alien hat.
He's got some dirty shoes on. Or no, actually pretty shoes, dirty pants.
Yeah, Whip would never wear those pants.
I would wear shoes like them.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
But I could see Whip in that jacket.
And a
The
pit
jacket,
jacket.
maybe, but the pants and shoes, no way.
Yeah, no way.
And I could also see Whip in an establishment like that. Look, this guy is like looking at him, getting ready to fight him, I think.
Yeah.
Or
What
He's
the
like,
hell
this
are you
guy
doing,
comes over and
Jeremy?
asks for money. I'm in him. Oh, he even has some. Look, he has like a bully club or something in his hand. Wow. She messes around in some tough areas. Okay, let's go back to everybody else.
awfully tight sweater for his physique.
Yeah, I know, for his gut.
Yeah, I mean, really accentuating himself there, but
Yeah.
judging
He
by
can't-
the lines on the side, yeah, okay.
Maybe he had a really big lunch.
Yeah,
Really big.
maybe ate like a gopher or something. See,
All right.
I'm sorry, none of this is lining up with Whip.
All right. So anyway, if you guys want to check out do-it-yourself builds, build your own giant aquariums at home, go check out Jeremy over at Aquarium Domain. I got to take that down so you can see his name if you need to see that. That's how you spell it. Go search
can
him
people
out.
get his
Maybe
work?
one of the 17,000 mods I've made. Can drop a link maybe. And Ed'll be on Tuesday with me playing a little D&D. Doctor, I would imagine you're going to be on with Ed potentially next Thursday, correct?
At least for a half hour.
Okay, yeah, because I remembered you had something going on.
Yeah, every other week we have a meeting for Fishtoberfest. A planning committee meeting.
I think I'll be doing a craft ed this week.
Oh, about time.
Yeah.
And then if Skipper doesn't go, I will go after Ed. It won't be a late one though because I do have to be up and out of the house to go to Tennessee in the morning. So other than that, that's all I know, right? Anybody?
Stopping
Nobody
by
else?
Ben's, Ed or Whip.
No, there's not going to be enough time. It's going to be a get down there, deliver, because my buddy's only like 90 days away from moving down there. He's much further along than I am. And he's just taking loads of the house contents, basically, that they don't use anymore, or not use all the time.
Gotcha.
Just to
I
try
might
to
be
beat.
in St. Louis that weekend.
You might be?
Yeah, my mom and dad's well, it's really my mom's best friend. She's got cancer real bad, so she's trying to see her some more before it gets worse.
Gotcha.
Hey, Whip, how far are you from Gatlinburg, Whip? Or like Sevilleville?
I looked it up once before. I think it's like an hour and a half.
I don't know. Okay.
I think it's 2 hours from me.
Maybe it's 2 hours. Because I'm an hour north of Ed.
So Nashville is west of you, right, Whip?
North and west, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know what? He's at like where that says 107 is closer to his house or where he lives. So I bet you it's maybe an hour and a half. If I'm an hour and 45, because he can just drive straight down 40 to get there, and I'll have to
An
take
hour
75.
an hour and a half is what came to my mind when you first asked. So.
Okay.
But if you go there, we'll visit you.
Gatlinburg.
There's a fish store that opened up about a year ago there that asked me to come and videotape the place, and I never have yet, so I need to. Well, I've got so many fish stores that have asked me that I just can't do them all.
Hey Ed, how far are you from the guy you used to live stream with? What's his name?
James?
James,
Did you
yeah.
say Gatlin? Did you say Gatlinburg?
Yeah, like Sevilleville, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, that whole area.
Well, I'm wrong. It's 2.5. So I don't know how
Oh.
Ed is there quicker than me. But
No, I didn't say Gatlinburg. I said Sevierville. I went to where the Buc-ee's is before you get there.
Yeah, I mean, Sevierville's right there off of 40, and then the
You got to
next
go
thing
through
is
Pigeon Forge.
and the next thing is Gatlinburg. Yeah, so basically from like where you come in from Virginia into Tennessee on 40, basically that area.
Gatlinburg gets really slow because of all the traffic too.
Yeah, oh yeah. But like down to 40, like from where I live in Maryland to getting into Tennessee, right around 40. That's like 8 or 9 hours, something like that. But so,
Yeah,
Ed, where's your buddy? Where does he live in Tennessee now?
he's way
James
north.
lives north and east, so he's like 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes from me. He used to only be an hour and 15 because he's in Knoxville, but he was kind of in the northern part of Knoxville, so that's why it took a little longer to get to him. Like,
But you said he's east of you now,
yes,
so he's very close
northeast,
to North Carolina. Then
northeast, yeah, out towards there in the middle of nowhere, like where it's all green on the map. He lives in that area.
okay, but so he's pretty close to North Carolina then, right?
Probably. The problem is there's no good roads going into North Carolina. You almost have to go to West Virginia. I mean, not West Virginia. Go to Virginia just to get to
Yeah,
North Carolina.
yeah. You got to jump up into 81 under 40, yeah, to
You
get
got to
over
go
there.
way up, and then with
Yeah,
40 all shut down, it really sucks. But yeah,
Yeah, there's really not a lot south of 40 that goes east west.
yeah. Like Charlotte should be so much closer, but I either have to go way north or way south. I have to go through Atlanta or Knoxville.
Yeah,
North of
yeah.
Knoxville. And it's so stupid because it's straight. It's like it'd probably be 2.5 hours straight if it wasn't for the
Yeah.
stupid mountains.
Really, all there is 40, 30, 20, and 10. And 10's all the way right down at the at Jacksonville type Florida level. Yeah. So, and 20's and yeah. So you
You
basically
can
either
see
have to
North
take
Carolina from
40
Chattanooga.
east west or 30 east west. And North Carolina is right in the middle of the two. So you're all the way south or all the way north in North Carolina. Yeah.
Right.
There's one mountain where you can see 5 states: Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and both the Carolinas down here in Chattanooga. Because we're right down on the border.
Yeah, you're right on the
You just-
river. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Yeah. What? What did I say?
No, you didn't
Oh.
say anything.
Oh, phew.
The doctor's like, you look thrilled. Lookout
You would
Mountain,
just-
is that what it is?
Jeremy, maybe you could build a cabin next to Whip.
Yeah.
Well, if it was 30,000, yeah, sure, but not for the 200 shit. Whatever.
Oh,
That ain't
he won't
happening.
charge you anything to build it on his land.
Oh, yes, I will.
Oh, he could trade that for a big ass fish tank.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually probably one of the few. Well, I'm actually one of the few people who did watch the video where Whip walked around his property and inspected all out. So
Yeah, that was not well received.
that's why I was asking about the property next door. But he said that
Yeah.
the price has gone up considerably since his acquisition.
That's why because I was going to make him an offer. It's a little bit smaller than mine. Like mine's 5.22 acres, and his is like 513 or something like that. It's almost exactly the same. His is shaped different though. Mine's almost a what's the elongated square?
A rectangle?
Rectangle.
Now, are you in Central or Eastern?
Central.
Dang it.
Yeah, that's what messed me up when we met down there. Almost, I'm like, holy crap! I got to leave like an hour earlier than I thought.
I got a bit of a unique situation too where I live is that I live in a very expensive area, but I live in a thing. Basically, all the rich people south of me, they paved over everything and they built up everything. So they have no water. So all the water comes from this tiny little sliver at the top of the county, and I live in that sliver. So the rich people declared that sliver an agricultural reserve. So basically, to live here, you have to have a huge amount of acreage, and you have to build very, very small things on this huge amount of acreage. So it basically makes the land very not valuable if you're somebody who wants to build housing developments or apartment buildings, whatever. But for people like me, it's perfect because I like to just have a normal sized house with a huge amount of land that I own, and it's basically a water recharge zone. There's a big underground aquifer it's actually like, it's really big, like 50 plus miles long, and it provides all the water for southern Maryland outside of DC where all the rich people live. And so I can live here inexpensively because of that. So it's perfect. But the thing is, it's all filled in. Like there's no new anything here, and you can't build it. Like if like they basically made the requirements to build a new house here so extreme that nobody would do it because it's excessive amount of money to do it. So, um, it's kind of funny because as an aquarium person, it's great. I have a really, really deep well. It's a 350-foot deep well, but it's into a giant aquifer that's full of incredibly pure water. So it's like, it makes my life really easy. Like people always like, oh my God, I can't imagine your water bill. It's like, I don't have one because it's, I have an aquifer and I have my water comes out at 7.2 pH and TDS of about 12, and
Wow.
it's just neutral as neutral can be. It can be whatever you want it to be, so, and the thing is, I bought this house 20 years ago, and all the literally where I live, you can look at like a dumpy little rancher house, like a three bedroom, 2 bath, like 1,000 square feet or something, and it'll cost like $800,000, because it has to be on 27 plus acres to be here, and it's all grandfathered in. And then on top of that, they give us a thing called what do they call it? It's some sort of it basically defers 25% of our taxes. It's a homesteading act because we can't build anything. Where I live, you can't have anything. There's no you can't have a paint store, oil change place, anything that's going to pollute the groundwater. So it limits what you can do with the land. But again, as somebody who just lives here, right? I don't run a business here. I don't have a office building here or anything like that. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. It's perfect, But it devalues the land for people who want to do commercial things, So, but it's perfect for keeping fish. So,
Well, then it's perfect for you. I mean, it's everything you want.
yeah. I mean,
You want the land,
And
you
you
want
can
the
get
smaller
crabs.
house, you got the water.
And the thing is, my house is grandfathered in. Like my house was built in 1973. Like there's no new houses here because if you want to build a new house here, well, there are a few, and they're really huge because you have to have tens of millions of dollars to build one here because you have to,
What's your
buy
house's
up
birthday?
huh?
What's
It
your,
is.
what's your
My house was built the same month I was born.
what what month?
Yeah, April of 73. My house was built in April 73, and I was born April 13th, 1973. So,
I'm June 15th, 1973.
yeah. So,
I was
Ah.
hoping
Damn,
I had the same birthday as your
damn
house.
young kids.
I'm older than Ed Newman.
You are.
So, but yeah, it's funny. It's totally grandfathered in. But the thing is the cool thing is, I have my property is the minimum size. All of my neighbors have much bigger sizes than I have, and all of their houses are on the opposite sides of their properties. So all of the back of their property is back to me. So if you're here and you look out, from my back, just looks like it goes on forever, right?
Right.
It looks like just nothingness, you know what I mean? But it's all owned by 5 people, right? And it's just the back of big properties that were grandfathered in. I mean, it's basically it's like a side product of all the rich people. Like, because Southern Maryland, right outside of DC, the DC Maryland line, that's all very, very rich people, and they paved over everything. So they have no, like, all their water runs right off into the Potomac River, so they get it all from us. So their whole thing is, don't fuck up that little the tiny sliver at the top, because we need that water. So it's perfect, right? Because that's what I want. Is just, I want my neighbors to just be trees. So that's
Right.
what I got. So
All right. I'm going to go. Hey, Elaine,
Okay, well,
you
thank you.
came in right at the tail end. We'll see y'all on Tuesday or Thursday, or I won't be around on Saturday. I'll have. If I hadn't gone today, I would have missed 3 Saturdays in a row because I'll be down in Tennessee. So we'll talk to y'all later. Stay fishy. Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy, for joining us.
Yeah, thank
thanks for
you.
having me.
Hey, welcome in. I'm with